because this little rumor here that we've been hearing about Last of Us 2 multiplayer being released on PS5 only possibly and not on PS4, which is where that title was released originally. And I am really confused by that. I don't understand where did that rumor come from, and why on earth should any of us or anyone put any validity into it? Because that seems like really bogus to me. Genesis, please
So
lead us into that. I have no idea. Give me the whole background about that specific rumor.
So basically, like most of the rumors, they all start on either 4chan, NeoGAF, or Reddit somewhere where somebody with no credibility posts things up, and then it blows up into something where it's like, oh God, what did this person say? What did that person say?
So it's clickbait.
Um, well, you see, here's
Always.
the thing. This particular rumor hasn't been verified by anybody in the industry, nor has it been verified by what's the word I'm looking for? Verified leakers, like people who will reliably leak things, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those, the guys who say, "Oh, I'm not part of the industry," but they probably are part of the industry, and it's all part of like marketing tactics to get hype for the game and things like that. Or
Okay.
I don't know, maybe they might not be. I have no idea. But the rumor that was going around for The Last of Us multiplayer, and this is probably one of the earlier rumors. So this is not a very like a very recent rumor. This is something that's been in the rumor mill since Naughty Dog came out and said, "Hey, we're working on something. Like, stay tuned for more information about the multiplayer for Last of Us. We know you guys like factions. The Last of Us 2 game coming out is only single player, but that doesn't mean that we've forgotten about the multiplayer." So when that was said, there was a rumor started that, hey, this might only be for PlayStation 5, which obviously sparked a lot of debate, just like Giuseppe was mentioning before, where if it was originally launched on PS4, then it should be for PS4 and PS5, not just PS5. And the debate turned into kind of a discussion between people saying, well, if you have the PS4 version of the game and you get a PS5, just pop the disc in and now you have everything that you need on the PlayStation 5 version.
Yeah,
And
but
then
then
there's
you'd
people
have to
saying,
buy a brand new expensive
correct.
box just to get one application off of a software you already own?
Correct. And that has been a lot of the comments that have been passing back and forth with this particular rumor. The other rumor that came out of it was that because the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer has just been announced, factions multiplayer should not be far behind. And
What?
yeah, so
I
when
could
Ghost
kind
of
of
Tsushima,
understand that. Yeah.
so this was based on an interview that it was had with Sucker Punch. They said, "Hey, we're not working on any other multiplayer right now, but that seems interesting. Like that's a cool idea." And then literally, I think it was a day or two after we got the announcement for the co-op of Ghost.
Now, is
And
that
then
going to be like only like two-player co-op, or like how like
four,
what it,
two to
it's going to be
four.
up to four? Okay. Now,
Hmm.
is that four working together against NPCs, or is it two versus two, or
There
what's
are so you can do co-op for certain missions that they will be specific to the Ghost of Tsushima. What is it called?
It's like a
Uh,
hellscape thing. I don't know. I
No,
don't know
no,
what
the
the
actual
specific thing is
title. Is
called.
it Ghost of Tsushima Legends? Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
Legends. Yeah, I think
Legends.
Legends.
So Legends will have specific missions that you can do for two-player co-op, and then they will have specific raids that you can do for four-player co-op, and it's
I
all
see.
separate from the story. You do need to, I think, beat the game as a requirement to be able to get in, I think.
That makes
Uh-huh.
sense. That should be. That
You
should be.
also have
And
to have
then,
Plus.
yes, you do need to have Plus, yes. Um,
Well, that goes without saying. Yeah.
and
Yeah, people were
basically,
upset about that for some reason.
which I
I
don't
don't know
understand
why.
why people would be upset.
I
This is a normal thing now. We're not in the PlayStation 3
How
era
many
anymore.
multiplayer games do not require PS Plus? It's not a ton.
free to play games don't
Any
require
free to
Plus.
play, yeah. Any free to
Okay.
Yeah,
play
and I
game
think
does not
that's
require
it.
Plus.
And
That's it, yeah.
Not
They
Destiny. Destiny is not
PlayStation
immune.
does no Destiny need Plus.
Yeah.
PlayStation
Okay.
does like certain weekends where they'll let you play without Plus to get a taste of it and things like that to kind of
Okay.
entice you to buy Plus. Um, but yeah, no, they you need Plus to play any of these things.
We could actually easily make discussing PlayStation Plus and the whole making the justification for additional fees for access to these gamer networks just to play the multiplayer function on software, like I said, that you've already purchased, we could make that a whole nother discussion. In fact, we could probably fill a whole show for that, but well, we're not going to talk about that. Let's just go back to these rumors really quick. Let's go back to that Last of Us 2 multiplayer, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and say this is not exactly a hot take. I'm just going to say I'm 99.9% sure that rumor is complete fugazi. It's bumpkiss. You know what I mean? It's not. It's that's ridiculous. It's a dumb sounding rumor. It makes no sense, unless, and as we were slightly discussing before we actually started broadcasting, unless of course Neil Druckmann and whoever else it is their job at Naughty Dog to make these kinds of decisions wanted to go out of their way to put even a worse looking shade of gray across their faces in regards to Last of Us 2 for something dumb like restricting access to a highly anticipated segment of their big title, Last of Us 2, by forcing people to buy brand new hardware just to get to the multiplayer for a game, like I said, that they already bought on the previous generation. That's just, I don't know. I don't know who came up with that, but they're a whole bunch of nonsense, and the rumor is dumber than they are. The end.
I'm sure.
That's just
I'm sure
dumb.
that rumor doesn't have too much weight behind it, and I think that's pretty much why we're bringing up this discussion of rumors this week, is to kind of dispel what things don't have a lot of weight to them. I mean, obviously we're not the official rumor police here, where to say, okay, this is not real and this is real. We're just kind of putting a logical light on things of what would make sense and what wouldn't make sense. Like one of the earlier rumors that came out, I think, last week with the fake 4K on PlayStation 5, which was talked about by someone from as a moderator from Reset Era, and basically was later found out that all he said was false, and he spread everything like wildfire, and the only reason why he spread everything was because apparently the Xbox Series X had too much negative press, and he needed to go ahead and say, hey, here's some extra things about the PlayStation 5 that is a reason why you shouldn't buy it. And two, listen, each of the consoles have their own pros and cons, but I believe they're both equipped to do exactly what they advertise to do, which is the 4K, and be able to display games at that point in time for that. There was a lot of debate going on about that. A lot of people actually hopped on the bandwagon of, wow, this sounds right, this sounds legitimate. And then I believe later on in the week, or it could have been the beginning of this week, there was a dev chat for PlayStation 5, which was transcribed on Reddit, which actually provided a lot of information that was I don't remember if that was an official statement or official devs talking versus this guy who's just a moderator of of Reset Era, where they were talking about all the different things that PlayStation 5 can do and what to actually expect from the console itself. I can quickly go through that, but
Here, I'm gonna toss this out there real quick.
yeah.
True or false? The reason why there are so much of these seemingly off the wall rumors that are being tossed out there for next gen consoles is because there's nothing really too much to get excited about.
False.
Why?
I'm gonna say false on that one.
Why? What is so exciting about these next gen consoles for you guys that makes them day one buys for you?
Games, next gen.
Yeah, are they going to be available when you buy that box? No.
Yeah.
When they're not going to be available on the day that you buy them.
I'm gonna
every week.
Yeah, I understand that, and I'm just
There's
saying.
another rumor that basically goes right after what you're saying, but continue what you're saying.
Well, I'm just what's that rumor? Is there a game that nobody's knows about that will be available on launch
No,
for these
this
new
is a game we
boxes?
know about, but it was not given a date when it was initially shown, and now there is a specific rumor going around that it is being prepared for a launch date, which is the return of Demon Souls.
That would be
That seems too far out.
well, who
Launch.
knows? Who knows what From Software is up to? I mean, like I really don't have a.
No, they're From Software's not making Demon Souls.
Oh, that's right. They outsourced
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
to another people. So hey, who knows? What was that company? What was that developer that was doing the Demon Souls?
Blue Point.
Blue Point, right? What
Yeah,
have
because
they
they
been
did the
working on
Uncharted
anything?
Golden Abyss. They basically do all the remakes. For
Yeah.
every. They did
Didn't
the
they do
Uncharted
Fire-
Collection.
No, that was Toys for Bob.
No, yeah, they did all the PlayStation exclusive stuff. They do all
Ah.
the remakes of.
So
Yeah,
they
did
haven't
the
been.
Uncharted Collection. They do all of it.
So they haven't
this
been
is
working
just
on.
another remake.
So they have not been working on anything in particular recently. Like they haven't put anything
they
out.
did something a couple years ago, but no, there's been a while, and they've announced that they've been working on this for 3 or 4 years.
So this is the thing. I would say that is possible if Sony definitely gave them some little extra resources to help them push them faster to have a launch date, because that would be a significant addition to a very meager launch day lineup for a PS5. Which again, to me, still, look, 4K, better functionality, solid state drives, all those things are great. But I'm going to tell you one thing: none of those things are sexy for a next gen console launch. Not like this current gen that we're slowly but surely leaving behind. PS4 had so much like just glitz and glory, especially in light of the Xbox One's unveiling and all the information and details that came out about that. PS4, no DRM, cheaper price, you know, better ins with indie gamers, indie developers, easier, better like consumer practices. Here, you want to share a game? This is how you share a game. You hand the disc over to your friend. I mean, like, and then all of the social media sharing things, like the easy broadcasting, linking to your Facebook at that time, to YouTube, Twitch, social media, like those are huge leaps in functionality from consoles, boxes that were just like, yes, they were PCs, dumbed down PCs, but you could do so much more with that box than you could with previous generations. All I'm seeing with PS5 and this new Xbox Series X business is that, yes, there will be better functioning PCs that will hopefully do all the things that the current gen can do and more. And no games at launch. Big whoop and do. Big whoop and do. Yes, I will get a PS5 eventually, but I am not getting it on day one. And that's more than, and not just because I can't afford it. There's no reason to get it on day one. None at all. And that's why these rumors are out there. They're trying to hype up that machine. Because if people are hyping about it, they're talking about it, they're generating that a little bit of FOMO, maybe. You know what I mean? But for what? There's going to be nothing to miss out on day one. And not at all. And that's the reason why I think all these ridiculous rumors are being generated and cast out into the internet, and I don't know. It's ridiculous.
To just end that Demon Souls rumor, the way it started was there was a rating that was done in South Korea and Korea for the Demon Souls game itself, along with Spider-Man. And a lot of people were saying that because Spider-Man and Demon Souls both got a rating around the same time, could it be possible as a launch title? The ex-senior editor of Game Informer had written as a response to people asking about this that said, as far as he was aware, they were always targeting launch/launch window for the game.
Is that Andy McNamara?
No, Imran Khan.
Oh, Imran. Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking it was Andy, but okay.
Yeah, that's where that came from.
Now, Imran Khan, he's usually he's got his ear to the ground. He's got a lot of them. He's done a lot of like valid. He's leaked a lot of valid.
Launch window is up to
So.
3 months past launch day.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. He said
Which
they've
is
always
ridiculous.
been targeting launch
That's
launch
just-
window. So
Launch window is nonsense.
That
Launch
could be,
window
that
is
could be either November or December, January, February, anything
launch
like
I
whenever.
could see it in February.
that. Yeah.
lo-
Yeah,
could see that
I
being
can't
February.
see it. I can't see it holiday season. That's not a holiday game.
it's more of a rule that whenever you hear launch window attached to anything, to any title, you can guarantee it'll be 3 to 4 months away, if not longer. Launch window is an empty promise, false
Yeah, 3 to
bravado.
6 is
It's
usually what I
nonsense.
think about, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the launch window is just no. That's false advertising. They should not be allowed to even coin that term. It gets people the complete wrong impression regarding the availability of key software to make hardware worth the buy at that time.
Mhm.
Nonsense. These rumors. Ridiculous. You know what? We wouldn't need any of these rumors if the industry were just a little bit more,
Open.
yeah, and more direct with their details. If things are not available and not ready to roll, then just say so. If you're not going to meet your launch date, your release date, say so. But get that information out there sooner than later so people can prepare themselves and not be disappointed or blindsided or what have you. Just be honest. I know it's going to hurt profitability at the initial onset. It's not great for optics, for business. But just stop with the smoke and mirrors, man. I mean, consumer. There is so much competition out there for the consumer dollar these days that people are less likely, or I would say lesser likely, just keep on going back to people that are just going to completely blindside them with nonsense, lies and rumors and baloney when they could be, if they want brand loyalty, they need to earn it. They don't just. They're not entitled to it. You know what I mean? There used to be a time when companies like earned people's business. How many entities in the gaming industry are legitimately earning the consumer's business these days consistently? Who's really doing it?
PlayStation.
Well,
PlayStation.
yes,
That's the only one I can think of.
but
Yeah.
Sony.
Nintendo,
But
I
Well, CD
think to a
Projekt
point.
Red for you, Giuseppe, I would think.
well, I hope so. I mean,
Insomniac.
Insomniac, yeah. I consider that all under PlayStation, though.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
first
okay.
party.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that I would really love to see Kaz get out in front of any of the stuff that directly pertains to
Kaz.
PlayStation and get out there and say, look, this is the
Didn't Kaz
law.
retire?
No, that was his that joke account that was about him retired, not him himself.
No, he retired. He's gone.
Is
That's
he?
why he retired like 2 years ago.
I will verify this for you right now.
Yeah,
So
I'm
who's-
not
so-
crazy.
So
No,
who's
no.
so who's Mr. PlayStation now?
I don't remember his
Mark
name.
Cerny?
No,
Hey,
no. I don't. Yeah, Genesis, look that up. See
Hey,
what,
all
Yeah,
I got
I'm
to
pretty
know.
sure
I
Kaz-
can confirm.
Kaz Hirai retired like 2 years ago.
He fully retired on June 18, 2019. The person who
Oh,
took his
well, that's
spot.
excuse.
You
Is
go ahead,
it,
keep talking. I'll look for the person.
Is it what's his face? Who pops up? Who popped up in the PS5 thing? The British guy?
Jim Ryan? No.
Jim Ryan. Because they changed the roles of
Okay.
all of PlayStation. Because Shuhei Yoshida is no longer like head of the studios. He's
Right.
now Indies. Herman
Right.
Holst is now Sean Layden's job along with Shuhei's job.
That's
So
interesting.
that's why Sean Layden's gone. I mean, Sean
Adam
Layden's
is, Adam
gone,
is
even
correct.
though he
Giuseppe.
left.
He is correct.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what?
This-
Whoever it is,
I'm wrong about the year.
whoever it
It
is.
is Jim Ryan, right?
Yeah, it is Jim Ryan, though. Yes,
Yeah,
it is Jim Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jim Ryan,
Came back, yeah.
get your butt out there on social media and let's clear up this muck, because you know what? That is going to work wonders for shoring up your launch sales for PS5 and bolster a little consumer confidence in your product. Get the facts out there. Dispense with these rumors. Again, you don't have to worry about Xbox or anyone else or whatever else is going on. Cut past the noise. Get the facts out there. and let's move on with our lives, because these rumors are just a bunch of nonsense. I
They
mean, just
they
squash them.
like they
For the-
comment on some rumors. They don't comment
Yeah,
on all of them, and I wouldn't
in
comment
his
on all of them. Similar to why you said they don't, because it's business. It's just it's out there. The reason I said false originally to your true or false question is because it's not the companies doing it. It's people who want clicks. It's the media, the headlines. Not to get into like a false narrative of media and like all that crap.
So
But
and I understand
people
that,
want clicks,
and
and people are hyped, and they'll click.
and I
It's
and
the
I
same thing for like DC stuff that I click on, like, oh my god, is this real? It's not real. And I'm
and
saying,
I understand that, and that's great. But at some point, all of that noise begins to directly hurt your brand. I mean, it's like literally having, Sean Murray do No Man's Sky's pitching for PS5, game software functionality and all this stuff, and then it becomes a monster, and they get just
well, those
completely
weren't
loses
rumors.
control.
Sean Murray was just lying for a while because Sony was like, hey, you're gonna have all these things, right? And he was like, yeah, I'll have
Yeah,
all these
yeah,
things.
yeah.
And
I'm
then
a
the
people
game
pleaser.
came out, and they're like, hey, you don't have all these things. And they're like, yeah, we don't have all those things. We were
Also,
forced to say we have all those things.
also to let our audience of probably zero know, No Man's Sky. We'll be talking about that again a little later in the podcast. All right, go ahead, continue.
Ooh, little tease. That was
Little
a good little
teaser.
segue there. I don't
Little
have
teaser.
much to continue on that, but
I would like to segue into Adam's conversation from earlier, where he was talking about how he looks at rumors for DC.
Okay.
Now I'll ask you real quick, Adam.
Oh
how
wait,
much
is there?
do you-
Wait. Is there still people working for DC?
Oh God.
you just had to get that joke in again. They only laid off like 33% of their staff. They're still working on comics and movies and stuff.
Uh-huh.
They're
Oh,
just
I'm
doing
sure-
a little bit of restructuring.
I'm sure
It's all
Jim.
right.
I'm sure Jim Lee over at DC is loving the whole fact that he has less people to deal, to deal that business with. But anyway, go ahead, continue.
That's fair, yeah. Jim Lee he created Fandom. It's the set is all designed by Jim Lee artwork.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
Jim Lee, I like him, but I've heard some things. But anyways, this is not let's destroy Jim Lee's legacy. This is
That's all right.
Crash.
Don't worry, AT&T will take care of that. No problem. All right, go ahead.
Oh,
Continue.
man, I hate how
AT&T
you're
will
right.
take care of that, such as they've taken care of other things in the past. They don't worry about that. That'll be a crashing, burning fire sooner or later, like everything else they've done.
I do not know which part of that was sarcasm and where it turned into real life.
Oh,
Because you started
real life for
sarcasm,
AT&T.
and then you just started shit talking them. But whatever, that's fine.
Anywho,
You were saying, Mr.
Coming,
Johnson.
listen. Well, anyway, so let me ask you, how much? I know the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, has just been announced by Rocksteady.
oh, it's Kill the Justice League? I thought it was Kill Superman.
No, it's killed. Okay, for the audience of Zero, who doesn't know, we have a group chat,
Will
and
you?
I send things, and I
Relax.
don't think
There's-
anyone in
there's
the
an
group
audience,
chat knows
okay?
how to read. All right, I don't think anyone knows how to read or looks at the group chat. Yeah, you turn away in shame, Giuseppe.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's
heard
called,
I heard a screaming animal, and I was wondering whether or not it came into
Okay,
I don't know. Go ahead, continue.
anyway,
My
okay.
bad.
It's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, as the photo in the chat was posted
Okay.
about a week ago.
How much do you know about any of the rumors with first the Suicide Squad game, as well as the rumored Batman game, which has its, I guess the puzzle's been solved for them. It leads to a date that is this Saturday or tomorrow, one or the other?
Okay, it's starting with the Suicide Squad, the video game. I'm just gonna call it Suicide Squad. There's so many rumors that I'm literally not gonna talk about any of them because that's either Bizarro Superman or it's Superman in the version of like the Mortal Kombat where he killed his family by accident with the bomb.
So another
Or
evil
it's-
Superman.
Yeah, or it's a different evil Superman, or it's the regular Justice League, or it's the anti-Justice. There are so many. No one knows. We find out August 22nd.
So,
and
do you
that's
mind
when
if
I
I
will
if
watch
I
it.
talk about some of the rumors that have been posted? This was
If
about
you
3 days.
have some, I
I
will,
do. I do.
I will tell you why most of them are incorrect. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so here's the rumors for Suicide Squad,
Suicide
Killer
Squall
Justice
is my
League.
favorite.
So this was.
Didn't they have that in the Perfect Storm movie? I thought the Suicide Squall in the Perfect Storm. And I never. Go ahead, continue. Go ahead.
This is as of 3 days ago. This rumor was posted, and obviously, like I mentioned before, a lot of the rumors come from 4chan. This is on 4chan. The rumors start as a co-op game with RPG elements. Goal is to assassinate or capture 7 members of the Justice League. Playable characters are Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, Cheetah, Bane, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, and Gorilla Grodd. Deathstroke and Red Hood are future DLC. Red Hood is PlayStation exclusive. Justice League bosses are Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Red Robin, and Cyborg. Batman is excluded because WB doesn't want to show him being killed or captured, so Red Robin replaces him. Martian Manhunter will be added in a future update. Superman, Wonder Woman, and Flash will only be captured, not killed, coming late 2021 or 2022 to PS5, Series X, Steam, Epic, and Stadia.
So it's called Kill the Justice League, and you can only capture some of them. You can't kill all of them, so I don't know about that. That's a
Yeah,
horrible
that's-
title.
yeah.
Those are generic characters that are typically in the Suicide Squad. Those are the main 7 of the Justice League. Somebody just
Minus
wrote
Batman.
some shit down. Yeah, somebody just wrote some stuff down. It's the rumor of it being co-op. I've heard that too. I've heard it's similar to the Avengers game that's coming out. There's so many right now where it's literally if we wait 48 hours, we will have some answers. So I won't.
What is
they're so
your
generic.
opinion though on it being very similar to obviously because me and you have had experience in the Avengers beta. What would be your reaction if it is similar to the Avengers?
I would
or Avengers
if it takes
itself,
a similar route and it has like the same kind of like microtransaction dealio and all that. I didn't play DC Universe Online.
I
Mostly
did.
because of trophies. I know you did. Mostly
I
because of
love it.
trophies. One day I advised that I would play it, and then I was like, nah.
And
PS3
that day
came and
never
went.
came. That day never
And then
came.
it came to PS4, and I was like, this is it. This is where I become a Flash Batman.
And then
and then
it
I was
still
like,
never
nah.
came.
Because that game just looked like garbage.
Well, this is the thing.
So-
It definitely does look like garbage, and it has not really like upgraded very well in terms of the visual fidelity. I just really enjoyed it since day one because I love the concept of the RPG elements. You build the look.
The concept's good,
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's,
I just the gameplay is not for me.
no, the
That's what-
gameplay.
That's
the gameplay
the garbage
is,
I meant. Like
it-
visually, I don't care. It's like it looks
good
like
enough.
a PS3 game.
It's
Yeah,
good enough. It's fine.
But if it's similar to Avengers, if it controls better, I probably wouldn't be as upset with it. But it's not. I'm not going to be like, oh my god, I gotta play it. Like it's just not my type of game. I'll probably be more excited for the WB Montreal game that's coming out. That's also going to be announced August 22nd, and we might actually see a trailer tomorrow.
The Batman game you're talking about, correct?
Yeah, that is rumored to be a Batman game. Most
I have
likely
some
a Batman
rumors
game.
on that as well.
Most likely Court of Owls. Been rumored for that. Yeah, go ahead.
There is a name for it. The rumor apparently for the name of that, and I'll just, I mean, if you have any other things to add with the original Suicide Squad game, then feel free to finish it before I go into this.
Let me say one thing on that Suicide Squad game. I would say this. I would really love to see that game not be anything like the Marvel's Avengers beta
same.
or anything
Same.
anything at all, and not just in terms of like the microtransactions and all the other junk that they have affiliated with that title in order to for profits. What I'd love to see the format of that game be to be strictly like either limited co-op. Well, you know what it'd be? I would love to see it actually be kind of like in the vein of the Evolve games to actually have, because first of all, that whole lineup of villains in the quote-unquote Suicide Squad versus probably like any one of those Justice Leaguers, the Justice League has the Suicide Squad completely outmatched. Entirely, emphatically, there's not even a question. Therefore, I would love to see a multiplayer kind of thing versus one major boss person being one of those select Justice Leaguers, and that be each level or stage or what have you, and that's the challenge. Because quite frankly, like I had discussed with Adam earlier when he first brought that rumor to my attention over our private chat, what was going to be the purpose of the game? How many people of the Suicide Squad get suicided by Superman by running their faces into his fist as he punches them in the face? I mean, I don't understand because guess what? They don't stand a chance against him,
unless
even
there
if they
could be
brought
some plot element.
yeah,
to it, where if you hurt them enough, Lois Lane explodes or something. You kill this person, it kills somebody else you know. Like they could add some dumb plot to it. And I like your idea. I don't want that though. That's not my hopes for the game.
Well, I would love to see it because at the very least, it would dispense with all the trash mobs with those style of superhero comic book games. I'm sorry, trash mobs are just dumb. They're just needless filler buildup, and we want to get to the cool action. And guess what? The cool action lies in pitting these alpha characters against each other, not against trash mobs. We want to get to see gameplay of, say, Deathstroke the Terminator versus Red Robin, whatever. Better yet, Cyborg, whatever. To have those kind of characters go against each other and have their unique skill sets pitted against each other, that is cool. That is a cool gameplay concept. Having to mow through a whole bunch of GCPD, on your way to this one already outmatched boss character, that's ridiculous. All right, it's conceptually lame, been done. I don't want to see it. I would love to see a game where to see actually these characters actually go at it, and you know what? It would actually more accurately reflect the conflicts that actually happen in the books, because you don't see Superman plow through a whole bunch of Apocalypse foot soldiers before he punches Darkseid in the face. No, he flies through them, over them, around them, and punches Darkseid in the face. That's what happens in the books. They don't spend a whole lot of time.
Darkseid 6 more times and then the book's over.
Well, whatever the case may be, but I'm saying
so
to see those comics
6 times and the game's over. Like that.
Well,
I get your idea, and again, it's like the Shadow of Colossus of taking down. Instead of them, it's the Shadow of the Justice League. Like it's a crazy idea, and I like it. But at the same time, what we talked about last week, I still think that you have to have the mobs. You have to have the small characters to fight to get to the good stuff. Because too much of a good thing is not. All I gotta
say is there's a reason why they're all called trash mobs in every single game. All right, moving on.
I've never heard that term, but sure.
Yes, they're called trash. Yeah, Adam. That's what they're called. Trash mobs in every single game.
Yeah, like I said, I've never heard that term.
Oh.
But sure.
Well, consider yourself educated.
You've used it a bunch. You used it last week.
August 20th.
I meant to ask you after the podcast last week. But
trash mobs. Trash mobs in every single game.
Hey, word of the day with Giuseppe. Tune in next week to see what the word of the week.
We should, I like.
You should really do that actually, because you guys
pretty cool.
You know some words. I mean,
it's not. It's really not that revolutionary.
I know what I'm titling this episode now. Trash mobs.
Trash mobs.
Trash mobs. Oh my goodness, it's a bunch of trash.
All right. Anyways, guys, go ahead.
Let me go lead into the next rumor we got here. So the Batman game is going to be called, according to the rumor, it's going to be called Batman Gotham Knights. It is made by WB Montreal, large open world city divided into 17 districts. Each district is controlled by an elite talent. 4 main playable characters: Batman, Nightwing, Robin, who's Damian Wayne, and Batwoman. Harley Quinn is a bonus Predator character.
Batwoman or Batgirl?
Yeah, there's a difference.
Batgirl. Yeah, well, they say Batwoman. I don't know which one they mean.
I don't know about that.
I'm not sure.
It
could be Batgirl. I'm gonna go Batgirl instead.
Yeah.
Switch between those characters at any time while they're in different places. They use the example of GTA 5. Main antagonist is the Court of Owls. Talons can regenerate after being defeated and will go after the character that defeated them. Defeating an elite Talon means their district becomes part of Batman Inc., giving access to new upgrades, crafting materials, etc. Secret villains controlling the court are the three Jokers, based on Jeff Johns' upcoming comic. Did I say his name right?
Yeah,
no.
Jeff Johns.
Yeah, you're right. Oh no, it's that. Oh,
Coming
God.
early 2021 to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, Steam, Epic, and Stadia.
Wait a minute, 2021?
Yes,
Well,
apparently
they've been
this is
working
a
on this
game
game
that is...
since Arkham Origins, and Arkham Origins came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 7 years to make a game for next gen, when next gen wasn't announced. Well, it came out in 2013. Oh God, no! Because that timeline's all messed up. Something was canceled in the middle there.
Oh, yeah.
Or they had to work on something else because.
I am
yeah.
assuming something was canceled in the middle.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it has
Or
to
they
do with
worked on
either
something
that
else.
The Superman game that was rumored to come out, that was probably canceled.
Yeah, that's.
Could be.
I mean, with what you described, it sounds like a natural progression. Some things of like Arkham City and Arkham Knight, like switching between Batman and Catwoman, and then having like Robin jump in. I like the idea of a lot of that. I just want to play as Batman. That's.
So I'm sorry, Giuseppe. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that was an odd addition to that the whole Batman Inc. thing. So are you guys familiar with Batman Inc.?
Yeah.
I am not.
Well, I would figure Adam would. So Adam, go ahead and tell Genesis what Batman Inc. is all about, because I love the addition, the original idea of that concept. It's just they didn't really execute it like. Was that Grant Morrison behind that? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was him. I'm so bad at explaining things. Batman Inc. or Incorporated, if you will. It's just Batman not hiring, but like recruiting people to be Batman, and basically all around the world.
Yeah, in their respective countries. Yeah.
Yeah, just basically Batman Earth Police. That's the best way to describe it. And I don't know what it turned into because I don't really read that often.
I don't think it went anywhere. I think it just went nowhere. I think.
There's a Batman Inc. suit in I think 2 of the Arkham games, Arkham City and Arkham Knight.
I believe there was.
Yeah, it might have been in Asylum as well. I think it was. But it's an idea, and I like everything you described. I was like, oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I like this.
So when I went over to secret villains controlling the court or the three Jokers, you said, oh no. We want to explain that fact because I have no idea what you're talking about.
So what I know about the three Jokers is Jeff Johns has been writing the story that the internet probably complains about every 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about there's always been 3 concurrent Jokers that have been alive like for hundreds of years. And it's honestly a terrible idea. I don't like it. The reason I like the Joker is because there's only one Joker, and he's basically the opposite of Batman, but exactly the same. I honestly, I really hope that's not the case. I mean, Mark Hamill's dead. Not in real life, but Joker, Mark Hamill's dead. Even though he came back. So we'll see what that's about, but I do not want 3 Jokers. Hell no. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, Giuseppe.
Nothing in particular,
it's not popular.
other than that's a silly idea. And honestly, there once was a time. There once was a time where I wouldn't question the creative choices of a Jeff Johns. That was back in the day, back when he basically resurrected the Green Lantern books and brought them out of the toilet and turned them into like one of the strongest titles they had in the years that preceded the New 52 launch and all that. And then, as obviously Jeff Johns' star came to prominence in DC Comics, he got a lot of power, a lot of creative control. He was the executive producer on the Green Lantern movie, and we all know where that went, right back down the toilet. So he hasn't really been cranking out 500-foot homers every time he's been stepping up to the plate in recent years. And this nonsense about 3 jokers is another example of striking out at the plate. Sorry. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous because guess what? Pretty sure Batman would know the difference if he was fighting another person who was the Joker. He would know.
If I'm not mistaken, it's also post Killing Joke. So it's kind of building off that. Like there's so much about it that I don't like. There's so much. I mean, it remains to be seen. And I can't even tell you if Jeff Johns ever wrote a Joker story, because as far as I know, I don't think he did. So, that man has simultaneously has been one of the greatest influences to DC and
good
one of
and
the
bad
biggest downfall. Yeah, he's literally been there for the rise and the fall, and he's been the cause of it all. And I did not mean for that to rhyme.
Hey, I like it though. That's a gold star on you. I like it. Very marketable.
Yeah. Tune in next week for Rhyming with Adam.
There you go.
So Giuseppe's got the word of the week. Adam's got the rhyme of the week. I'll have the rumor of the week.
There you go.
Ooh, there you go. You just include yourself somehow.
Thanks.
No, I mean, we got a lot to learn. I don't know if anybody's realized at this point that August 22nd is DC Fandom. They're going to talk about the video games. They're going to talk about the movies. Originally, they were also going to talk about the TV shows, but they moved that to September 12th because it was just a little too packed, and fans complained. They're like, hey, can you, separate these out? So they moved it to September 12th, which I'm fine with. So, I'm not super interested in the TV shows at this point. I will watch all of them eventually because I'm going to get HBO Max, I've decided.
Okay.
Before the Snyder Cut comes out, I'm not getting it just for the Snyder Cut. It's just I've heard Harley Quinn is so good. I want to finish watching. I watched 3 episodes of Doom Patrol. It's really good. Yeah, I know.
Really?
I was thinking of Doom. Yeah, it's actually really good. It's really funny.
Okay.
It's very strange and out there. I liked it. I've seen a couple scenes from later episodes, and I was like, hell yeah, this is good. This is for me. But that Harley Quinn show keeps getting put on my radar. Talked about the animated one with Kaley Cuoco as Harley Quinn. That one apparently is really good.
What? Oh.
What happened?
Kaley Cuoco? What about?
She's actually pretty good as a voice of Harley.
Okay.
Tara
I don't
Strong?
know. Kaley Cuoco doesn't seem like somebody that I would. I don't know. I mean, maybe
she wouldn't be my first choice, but the scenes I've seen from that show, it works. It really works. And
so what, do they auto-tune her
thing.
Voice in some way, or is it really her manipulating her voice?
It's her manipulating her voice. It doesn't sound exactly like, it's not like you're watching an episode of The Big Bang Theory. It's clearly a different person. But
okay,
a
I
different
hope so.
character.
Okay.
So,
well.
Yeah, no, check out a clip or two of her just talking as Harley. It works. I promise.
Kaley Cuoco. Okay, whatever.
I know. When she was first announced, I was like, I mean, if I saw a picture of her in cosplay, sure, yeah, why not? But then it came out, and I've seen only scenes, like I've said, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is going for a different vibe. Also, they got Bane on there, and Bane is it's like a Tom Hardy impression Bane, and it's hysterical. Also, Clayface is a diva, and it's also very funny.
So they're still not making Bane sound Hispanic?
No, they're making fun of him, and so again,
so the show is a spoof. So the show is just a spoof.
The show is making fun of everything, but it's actually apparently a really good DC adaptation of Harley Quinn, because it's all in her eyes and stuff. So again, I haven't seen it, but it's been recommended to me tenfold by people who don't even like DC, which is weird. So maybe you would like Genesis,
okay?
Since you're a racist against DC, and I'm counting it as a race because it sounds worse.
The race of DC.
So you just keep that in mind.
let me move on to the next one here. The next rumor I got is based around a major delay, which could have been Deathloop. It could well be it could have well been Deathloop because it's already been confirmed
Vampire
that
the
Deathloop
Masquerade.
is. That's also, I think, been delayed. According to somebody.
Oh yeah, it's been delayed and
Yeah.
people have quit and there's something
The
going on
the,
with that
the
one.
big delay that's going around, it's based on a podcast that was being talked about. I forget the name. I think it's the ACG or AKG podcast, something along the lines of that. I'm not too
Alright.
sure who runs that and who exactly is in that one. But it was spoken about that there's some major delay that we are still unaware of. And discussions and rumors are already started with that. And the three main delays that they've been talking about that could be possibly this major delay they're mentioning is either Spider-Man, Cyberpunk, or Assassin's Creed. They all seem to think the main consensus seems to be around those three titles. And then a following article came out with Cyberpunk not being too happy about how they just want their combat, I guess, to be more pristine, or they weren't too happy with how it looked.
Before we get too far into that, let's
Yes.
take out this rumor immediately.
Uh-huh.
Spider-Man, Sony literally talks about it.
Yes.
I couldn't even tell you how many times a week.
Absolutely,
because they
they
talk
do.
about
Absolutely.
it all the time. They've released the box art. If that thing is delayed, I would be floored. I would literally, like, if I found out right now, I would get up from where I'm sitting and I would lay down on the floor and be like, I am floored. Because I would be that shocked. I'd probably just pass out and roll off my bed and just die.
You would legitimately
I-
be shocked at that?
I would be shocked.
I would
by
also be
how
shocked
much
because
they've
they-
talked and depended on it, unless they also say the console's not coming out this year. But they literally confirmed again that it's still coming out this year.
Yes, that is
So
the only. So that's
they released
the
a commercial.
source. That is the information that backs up the Spider-Man claim. Is that, well, if Halo's being delayed this year, there is a higher chance that the consoles could technically be delayed till next year because Xbox doesn't have a punch to roll out with.
Yeah, but
as
that's
well as
Xbox. So
Correct.
Don't care.
correct. But
And also,
Sony
Xbox confirmed November 7th. Or
yes.
whatever.
Did they confirm November 7th?
No, they confirmed November, and then that thing said November 7th like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Where it was like they commissioned somebody to do some artwork, and they put November 7th on there, and then they're like, no, this never happened, but it clearly did. So
Although
it still
really
might be
small-
November 7th.
A real small rumor to add to what you're talking about. There is a Fortnite bundle for PlayStation 5 that was leaked that confirms a November 17th date.
November 17th is the date the PS3 launched, so that I could see that happening. So, November 17th, 2006, obviously it didn't launch like last year.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean.
But just
But,
to
going to Assassin's Creed, though, I could see that one being delayed because, I don't think it will be, but I could see it being delayed because they've had to get rid of the creative director on it because Ubisoft. They had to get rid of a couple other people because of some Ubisoft stuff.
Oh, sexual predators.
Yeah. We can just call them what they are.
Yeah.
Awful people.
pieces of garbage, pieces of trash.
Yeah, but the game though, as far as I know, like they were passing around demos of it and all that. So I don't know if that one's true, but I wouldn't be as shocked as I would be about the Spider-Man one. Cyberpunk, no way in hell is that delayed again. No way in hell.
It's been delayed, what, 3 times already? 4 times?
It's been delayed for like 6 years. That article that you're talking about, Genesis, with the one where they're not happy with the combat, they're talking about like, we're not happy with the combat because we expect perfection. And then in that article, they talk about how like, we know we can't get it to like perfection, but we're going to get it as good as we can get it. And it's going to be great. And you're going to love it on day one. And that's literally what that article talks about. If you only read the headline and part of the article, sure. But they literally talk about every mechanic in that game where they're like, these are good, we can make it better. CD Projekt Red is like the most perfectionist company that's ever like existed in the world because they're like, no, we can make it a little bit better. No, we can add some things to it. but I doubt that they would delay that again. I
You know,
really doubt they would.
and this is the thing. You know, they've only. It's not like CD Projekt has always, deserved or has earned that title that you're
Yeah,
referring to right there. It really came about specifically and directly as a result of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Because
yeah,
The Witcher
yeah, and all the
1,
Witcher 3 support.
The Witcher 1 was a very janky mess of a game to play. It's got a weird control system, bad UI. It's not very good. Like if you were to go to it and play it now, I don't think many people would recommend that. Witcher 2, they do improve a lot of the game, but it still hasn't aged too well. The difference between Witcher 1 and 2 and Witcher 3 is phenomenal. It's like the difference between, quantum teleportation and the roller skate. Okay, so it's just,
All
I mean,
right.
there's just no comparison. Like they upped their production value, the gameplay, the storytelling, the characterization. I mean, and from that moment on, CD Projekt was just cranking out all of these really interesting ideas and taking on Cyberpunk as like their new RPG stable seemed like such a hugely ambitious thing, and it wouldn't really be like the first developer that came to mind when it came to adapting a sci-fi cyberpunk type of thing. I would say that because the video game industry is what it is, delays and rumors of delays, you just have to accept them all because chances are they probably will, as opposed to won't. Because why not? And that's not just because of a COVID 2020 situation. I think that's the industry has always been that fickle. And it can any company, whether it's the developer issues with the developer or the publisher says, oh no, just arbitrarily, we're just going to kick it for whatever reason we say and feed the consumers whatever kind of baloney we want, and who knows what the real story will ever really be. But when it comes to delays, there's never a formula to determine why or where or how. You just should all expect them to happen and just be happy about it, even though you may be upset by it, because
Yeah,
that's just the way it is. The industry is fickle. You cannot count on them for reliable information regarding almost anything.
it's
You
interesting.
should only trust what you have in your hand to put into your console, into your PC, whatever you're playing the software with, and you play it for yourself. That's what you trust. Until you have it in hand and you're playing it in that moment, trust nothing, and just wait it out.
So
That's all
that's
there is
very
to it.
interesting. If I can go back to a little bit earlier in the podcast, where you both said, if the video game industry was more open with everything,
But they're
would
not,
you
though.
then
That's
be
my
willing
point.
to trust them?
No, they have to
Okay,
prove
so
it. They have
there's
to
no
prove it.
difference.
No, 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 no. They have to prove it though. They have to start. You have to. Trust is earned. It is. Nobody's entitled to it. You don't just simply
I
give
don't
it.
think you would ever earn. I don't think they would ever earn that trust for
No,
you.
they would never earn that trust because they would never demonstrate
No,
a
even if
pattern
they
of
demonstrate,
behavior.
would they ever earn that trust?
If they demonstrate it in a pattern of behavior, they need like a solid 5-year window of being honest with consumers. You know what I mean? To develop a reliable pattern of behavior. But this is the thing: the
5-year
industry is
window?
not
Oh my god!
the industry is not set up that way. There's just no incentive for them to be front, forward facing with all of their information. There's no incentive for them to do all of it. The industry profits off of the hype machine going off the rails on a crazy train. Why would they stop that? They wouldn't stop that. They would even allow it even up to the point where the rumors would like directly throw shade on the company because there's no such thing as bad press. You know.
That's true.
So I mean, like, there's no without incentive to do so, and again, the incentive. I'm hoping that a company out there would try to be a little bit more honest with what they're doing, the kind of products they're developing, and when they want to release it, would be a little thing called consumer confidence, trust in a brand, building that relationship between consumer and company and the product that they're going to bridge that gap with. Apparently, that's not good enough because there's not enough dollar signs behind it, and that's fine. I understand that, but this is the whole ethics of business thing. That's a whole other conversation. But I would just say, without incentive to do so, the industry would never do it. So why do it? That's why they'll never gain the trust, because they would never be inspired to do it.
So when you're saying the industry and their trust, like how? Okay, so a lot of people claim to be like a staff or somebody who works on the inside, somebody who works part of the project. Like I'm gonna segue into another rumor here with just on top of that topic there. The recent Halo
what do you
Infinite
think
delay.
about the delays, by the way? Those 3 delays. Genesis.
Oh, what do I
Before we
think?
jump on, what's your opinion about those? 3 delays?
I am gonna think it's either Assassin's Creed or it's either Cyberpunk. Although I think I'm leaning more towards Assassin's Creed at this point, just with the.
Why does it have to be one of them?
What? Like, why can't it be both of them? You mean?
No, why can't it be none of them or all of them or?
Oh, I don't know. Those games right now just, particularly, I think Assassin's Creed with what happened to the creative director now being taken out of the entire picture here, and then Cyberpunk with they want to polish and polish and polish, and they want to get this game to perfection, and their vision of this game is very very ambitious and big. I think that's why I kind of lean towards those particular 2 games when they're being mentioned. Outside of that, I mean, we don't have too many ideas of whether games could possibly be delayed that are big releases, because
We also don't know release dates.
Correct. That is also another thing we don't know what the release
can't delay
dates,
something
right?
you don't know.
Correct. But my personal opinion would be I think it's either Assassin's Creed or Cyberpunk, because if they're talking about a major delay, those are your major hard hitting games that are going to be releasing this holiday season.
Cyberpunk would have to launch completely broken for people to be okay with another delay. Unless it's launching completely. If that game does not launch completely broken, it's going to be fine. If it has like hiccups, who cares? Nobody's going to care.
My thing is, I don't think it's going to launch completely broken. I think it's going to launch fine. It's just not going to be the game that people expected, because it's going to have a tough time running on these current gen consoles.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. We had that conversation last week.
Yeah, we did.
I still don't understand why that should be a problem for that
watch the episode
software.
last week. Anyways, Genesis.
So to go on Giuseppe's point from earlier, with the industry and trust and everything, when we hear like rumors and leaks from people who work on the inside, obviously we don't have a lot of proof to go on. They just say, yeah, I'm working with X team on X game, and here's XYZ rumor. Here's what's happening. It's behind the scenes that you need to know about. How does that play into the trust that you're talking about that we have to earn from the industry, or does that even play a part into it?
No, the industry needs to earn it from consumers. Okay. That's what they need to do, and this is the thing. It's the whole gambit of PR, marketing, and everything that it falls under the realm of promotion for the products that they do, or that they're developing or going to release. It's that whole interaction that is completely skewed, flawed, and broken, in my opinion. And this is industry wide. I don't believe there's any one developer, publisher, or entity that's involved that's completely immune from that. Everybody has gaping weaknesses in this regard, and I don't understand the reason for it. When they could just simply just take the high road and just be honest. When things change, be honest. Don't just like shove it under the rug. If you had a massive delay for the next Destiny game, okay, cool, big huge title anticipated, I'm sure, but something went horribly, horribly wrong. Let people know about it because
So I'm gonna take that
yeah.
what you're saying when kind of connected to Halo,
Okay.
with Halo Infinite's delay. Now, when that game was being hyped up when Xbox's event was going to happen, and that was their main showrunner, that was
Whoa,
their main attraction in the show. That was going to be what everybody was waiting for. And only after they showed everything, the backlash happened, and then they announced a delay. Obviously, I don't think they were. They obviously knew what they were going to show, so they were definitely aware that this could be a delay for the game, or should be a delay for the game. That particular game, though, only had gotten a delay announced after Microsoft went ahead and said, "Okay, you need to delay the game."
what is no? Is that true?
Yeah. So the thing that I'm saying is that when they showed what they were going to show at Xbox's event, okay, when we saw it, that the way it looked was not finished and was not. That was a build from, I believe, somewhere in Q1 of 2020. Okay, that was when that build was made. No, that was an earlier build. They said that was an earlier build of Q1. So like that build was back from like February or March or something like that. That they were showing at the event.
They've been working on this game for 4 years, and that was true.
That was the build.
Oh dear Lord.
That was that. So that's what I'm saying. So you see, like what he's talking about is like, oh, they need to be very honest and upcoming with delays like this. So let me change up the events in this scenario though. Let's say they didn't show that and they completely went over Halo for this event, and they still were on track to release it in November, and they would have released this, whatever they showed during Xbox's event as a game in November, not talking about the delay. Like those type of actions is, I'm assuming, what you're referring to, where they need to be more forthcoming with delays and things like that. But in this instance, the delay only happened because of the backlash and because the are they the publisher, Microsoft publisher, or are they just
They're the publisher.
Yeah,
the
publisher came
it.
forth and said, "Hey, you need to hit the brakes on this."
Wait.
And
So the delay happened because of the backlash.
The delay happened because Microsoft stepped in and said, "You need to hit the brakes on this." That was the reason. So that was the reason for the delay, and they explained in their little message that, "Hey, we want to have more time to polish this and this and that." A rumor that I believe came out 2 days ago from 343's staff member says that we were instructed to delay the game, and we have to now rework it from the ground up, which is going to be 12 plus months of work to this game.
Well, this is the thing. A little bit of transparency goes a long way. And, instead of just simply like trying to just stick your head in the sand, get ahead of the problems as soon as you know that you have a problem. Then you can actually control the narrative in a way that will hopefully try to stem the tide of, everybody grabbing their, torches and pitchforks on the internet. You're going to have disappointment regardless. I think we should all be keenly aware of the entertainment industry in general, is that disappointment is almost like this is the one thing that you can always guarantee with whatever product, whether it's a TV show, a movie, a video game, a comic book, a young adult novel. I don't care what it is. You put it out there, you can guarantee there will be a significant portion of consumers that will just be angry about something, regardless of what it is. Get ahead of it. Explain yourself. Get your rationale out there. You build back that. You rebuild the consumer confidence that takes a hit when news of a delay happens, or a massive round of layoffs, or somebody in a key position of the creative process walks off from the project for whatever the reason. You got to get it out there instead of trying to save face. You know what I mean? To kind of like stem the tide of like your stock prices or whatever else that you got going on to try to like make the business go. It's I don't know. I just wish these companies would just be a little bit more transparent about everything, because we all know that delays are inevitable. Get out in front of it. Explain yourself. Don't just try to hide it from the consumers. Because guess what? If you actively hide it, then chances are you got bigger problems. You got much bigger problems going on with your game development. Just take a look at what happened with BioWare and Mass Effect and Andromeda, and the whole Jason Schreier expose piece, talking about how that thing was a failure from the get go. It was it was just a disaster from the very beginning. You know, that's big time problems. That's big time problems. And guess what? It showed in the final product. It showed
Dennis,
big
I have
time.
a question.
Yes.
When did Microsoft tell 343 to delay this, and where is that information?
I will get that for you. I'm looking for it right now because I want to confirm that was it.
Because 343's letter did not mention anything about that, which does lead into Giuseppe's point. They need to be more open. Also, the rumor of it being only like a 6-month-old build, it's rumored to be an early development build, but it's not at the time period at which how old it is actually not known. Microsoft nor 343 has confirmed that. A couple YouTubers said that is what it is, including ex-IGN Alana Pierce, who Giuseppe and I actually talked about a couple of days ago, that we actually watched some of her stuff. I still actually like her stuff.
Yeah.
She was one
a lot of
person
good
talking
Batman
about the
stuff.
price as well on it, saying $5.99 for that. But
Yeah, she talked about the price. She talked about a lot of things, but again, none of what she said is confirmed, or it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's just what she's heard. Like, she clearly knows industry people, but again, low-rung staff don't always know the answer to things.
No, that is
so
correct.
She's not allowed to.
I could be incorrect with the date of the build. I thought I saw somewhere saying that it was from 2020 Q1 because a lot of people were asking for dates and they were saying, and a couple people had posted, this was an earlier build, but it looked like it was from this date or some other date. I could be wrong with that.
If it is,
but
I can't find anything on it except where she says something about it being an early build. Also, she talks about how the reason it was worked on so late is because of the poor reaction to Halo 5. Because one day we could dedicate a whole episode on why Halo 5 was disliked. There's a lot going on there, but we're not really a Halo channel, so.
No,
but there were also other rumors about why the Halo delay occurred, with outsourcing the TV show.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the TV show as well.
That was already. The team at 343 already were like, no, the TV show had nothing to do with this. Aaron Greenberg, I think he's marketing he's something with Xbox. I forget his title. I can't think of his exact title. But he talked about Halo Infinite after it first debuted. He said it was an early build and it's going to look better and better, but he never said Q1. And also, he just talked about how, it'll be, better, and it'll get updated and upgraded, and it'll be great. We're here to support it. I don't know. And then he also blamed COVID again, the pandemic. So... I
see where I seen the Microsoft. So Phil Spencer had made a comment saying it's a decision that I did warn may happen earlier this year. I'd say the bigger unknown is probably the game production, just being honest. And he obviously stated COVID. And many of the news outlets, particularly, they say Microsoft and 343 are making the decision. So maybe that's where I'm saying Microsoft made that decision.
Okay, all right. So it does seem like there was some talk between the studio and Microsoft. I mean, obviously, because Microsoft is literally building next gen off of Halo. I mean, they always have built their brand off of Halo. So that would make sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Phil Spencer
did he
had
make
made
those comments on Animal Talking?
I can figure that out.
Because that was he went on Animal Talking, the Gary Whitta show. I explained it to Giuseppe before. I might have talked to you about it, Genesis. Where Gary Whitta, in Hollywood, he interviews people. He actually gets like big stars on there. He had Selena Gomez like premiere a song on there and everything. It's just a talk show he hosts on Animal Crossing. And Phil Spencer was supposed to appear, and the day he was supposed to go on was like a day or two right after they announced Halo Infinite being delayed. So he had the first like interview coincidentally with him, and I know he made a lot of talking points about it. And Phil Spencer talked about how they at first thought about breaking the game up into parts.
You are correct. It is on that. It is on that stream. Yes. Phil Spencer, he confirmed that Microsoft. Yes. So that's where I'm getting this from. Okay. So Microsoft was the main decision maker in this, but obviously they had to go talk to 343 and say, okay, they have many reasons for the delay. But Phil Spencer mentioned that the main thing was he mentioned this earlier in May and in April that this might be the case, but we wanted to kind of see how development went, and COVID decided to take rampant effect in those particular months, which was challenging for the team. He made the decision based on the intent that in the long run, Series for fans, that's why they made this decision to do that, because they did not want to give a game out for outlet this way.
You all right, Giuseppe? Oh.
Well,
anyway.
Oh, wait, what? What? Oh.
Going back to your point, Giuseppe, to be open and clear, that's Phil Spencer bringing up his hesitations in April and May, and then still hyping it up for the Xbox showcase.
Yeah, that's baloney.
That's some deceptive stuff. And then being open and clear afterwards, that's a little... I don't like that stuff.
He got his hand caught in the cookie jar, is what he did.
Yeah.
And guess what? Everybody in the industry does it, and that's why...
He basically said, we tried to push this, and even though literally everything was against us because of COVID and all that, I tried to warn them, but, we still try to push it. So, good job, Phil Spencer. Unless I'm wrong about that and what you're reading is completely wrong or I'm misinterpreting it, that's what it sounds like to me. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's the kind of stuff that's deceptive.
And but that's the industry standard. That's across the board. You should expect it, as opposed to believe. You should never believe anything that comes out on. You just let it simmer. Let it simmer for weeks, months, what have you. Because quite honestly, it's just bogus, man. You just can't buy into it on face value.
Back in April or May, and I thought that the game wasn't going to be up to our standards by the time we announced it coming out, I wouldn't have hyped it up as much as they hyped it up.
To cover himself, he said, I did mention there was a possible, this was a possibility, but,
Hey, I did mention there was a possibility that, no, stop. Get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
You could just say that about any... Hey, there's a possibility that people won't like the direction of God of War. And then the game comes out and it's bad. I did mention there was a possibility that the direction...
Correct. That's not a way to cover things up and to cover your tracks.
To express doubts to the team making it, but then to hype it up is disingenuous in so many ways. If I were him, I would not be here. I gotta be honest with you guys. But if I were him...
Thanks. Well, thanks, Captain Obvious. No.
Well, don't worry. You guys be with me. We just wouldn't be here. But if I were him...
Thanks.
Also, I quit and run a PlayStation.
There you go.
I would not have picked it up as much, but that might have been a corporation Microsoft thing that Phil Spencer wasn't in control of, but I doubt it.
Oh, he definitely got sent out there, for sure. He got sent out there. Hey, Phil,
Phil
here's
Spencer,
your marching orders.
As that man has done for Microsoft, he's also done a lot that's not been great.
Oh, sure.
And literally every single time something bad happens, he's got a brilliant strategy of coming out and being like, hey, guys, we made a mistake. We're going to correct this. And people go, wow, thanks, Phil. And then literally 2 weeks later, it does it again.
He does the same shit.
And then everyone's like, wow, Xbox is learning. That's crazy. And I'm what? What? I thought the internet never forgot.
Yeah, he's got himself a crack damage control team at his disposal. So Good on him, I
to
guess.
end this rumor and then move on to the next thing, I guess I'll close it out with them saying the same 343 staff member that I mentioned before says, "Don't be surprised if there's a delay into 2022."
Yeah, whatever.
So
I'm not
shocked. I'm not shocked by any of it. Just continue to be disappointed.
For a little over an hour. Should we continue with rumors, or should we at least start the podcast?
No, we're gonna get onto the main segment that was inspired last week.
We got some months.
Yeah, last week by one of our our Twitch. Somebody on Twitch responded. Genesis.
Desunoto.
Desunoto. Yeah. Inspired by his comments, we are now going to start discussing games that have broken our hearts. Now, that can be for any kind of reason that you want to explain for yourself. It could be for the game came out and it just didn't deliver. The game came out and it was bad. Or the game came out and it was just not what you were feeling it was going to be. And therefore, it just shattered all of your expectations. In a Rian Johnson kind of way, not subverting, just shattering, flushing down the toilet, spitting on it as it circles down. Yeah, games that left us in a real bad place. So, who'd like to start?
I'll go first, since I know an easy one. And
Go for
I know
it.
It's not one of your choices, most likely. Fallout 4. Game broke my heart. I wanted more Fallout 3. I got more Fallout 3, but with all the bugs of Fallout 3. And with a couple new additions that were somehow even more buggy than Fallout 3. So, that one. God, I was so excited for that game. I bought 2 Pip-Boy editions for that game.
That's amazing.
Man, those are cool.
Yeah. When I got it, I was like, oh, my phone doesn't fit, and I gave it to a friend of mine. For his birthday, I was like, hey, man, here you go.
That's a good gift.
And he's like, I bought the game on PC. I'm like, well, let me keep the copy of the game, and you can just take the Pip-Boy.
Take the Pip-Boy.
And then the other Pip-Boy, I was like, well, I'm not going to open this. And then a friend of mine was like a different friend that I haven't talked to in like a couple years. He was for some reason over at my house.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, oh man, I've always wanted that Pip-Boy edition. And I was like, I got one. And he's like, how much you want for it? I was like, how much you want to give? And I think he bought it off me for like maybe 170, if that.
Okay.
I think it was less for what I paid for it. But at that point, I was like, it's just taking up space. I'm not using it.
Uh-huh.
And then he sent me a picture later of him using it. Like, he was excited. That thing was cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never wore it. Also, my arm was too fat. And like I said, my phone at the time didn't fit. But the game itself, it was broken. Got the platinum, but it was broken.
Fallout 4.
The DLC was broken.
Yeah.
Bad. Just bad.
Fallout 4, a very flawed game in many ways, and I can definitely
Only flawed, I would say.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot. Yeah, I can't argue with you there. I mean, it would never make it on any of my favorite games lists for any reason.
It could have, for me. That's why I was so excited for Outer Worlds. But the loading screens in that game kind of break my heart. But the story it's written so well. It's probably one of the best written games I've played in a long time. Like, each line of dialogue is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
But if it takes 15 minutes to get to 2 minutes of dialogue, it's a little difficult. I'm really hoping, which I don't think this is how game development works. I'm really hoping that it runs better and quicker on a PlayStation 5. They have not announced an upgrade for that one, or if it would be free, or if it exists, or if load times would be less. But that thing, load times are terrible.
Genesis, what you got?
Desunoto actually shares some similar feelings to Fallout 4.
Is he here again?
Hey,
He's here.
Desunoto.
Oh,
Shout out to you,
wow.
man. Shout out to you, man. Cool.
Desunoto. I feel like I don't like you, but, he's probably a good guy. Or girl. I'm gonna assume girl.
Overhyped collector's edition along with Fallout 76. Same garbage, same story. And he says hello.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off of Desunoto. Bethesda Softworks, trash, okay, and going out of their way consistently to
Recently.
show to everyone.
Trash.
Well, yeah, but
They
I mean,
were-
like they're
they-
really
I
going out of
respected
their
them.
way.
Pete
Yeah.
Hines was one of my inspirations of going to school for a marketing degree. Because that dude is, he was so good for the longest time. Like, he was like, hey, we're Bethesda, this is what we do. And I was like, hell yeah, Bethesda. And they had about 2 good years. Then they died.
Yeah, well, that's
And
what
then
happens when
What's that little guy with the brown leather jacket? Todd Howard. Never mind, I figured it out.
yeah, Todd Howard, yeah.
Desunoto agrees with you, Adam.
Oh, thank you.
Once
I don't
upon
know
a
what you're
time,
agreeing.
once
That
upon
he's
a
a
time.
girl?
No,
Okay,
not
thank
that.
you.
With the with the
That Bethesda
inspirational
used
thing
to be
that you're
great.
talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Bethesda used to be great, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
perhaps they
Used to
can
be.
be made great
No,
again.
no, 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 no. Every time you're gonna fit that in. We all know who you're voting for
Not a
in the next
chance.
Russian election because we're Russian, by the way. guys.
Not a
We're still in
chance.
Russia.
I'm
So
allergic
Genesis and
to
Giuseppe, that's
I'm
all
allergic to
Russian.
Cheetos. I don't like Cheetos
Let's not get
dustings
political.
on. I'm just talking about Cheetos. I don't know what you're
I
talking about.
honestly don't like
I'm allergic
Cheetos
to
as
them.
well. I'm not allergic to Cheetos. What ingredient in Cheetos are you allergic to?
Whatever that glucamate powder nonsense that's in the chemical formula. Ugh, that stuff. Ugh. We
Ugh.
break out into hives and all that shit. No way. No way. I don't like
Do
it.
you really?
No, I don't.
He could,
Damn.
but he doesn't.
Damn, that was good. That was good.
No, I
Anyways,
don't.
Joe Biden, no
Genesis.
good. Anyways, go ahead, Genesis.
Genesis.
My heartbreak of a game, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, was the first actual disappointment for me of the Assassin's Creed series. It was also the last time I got to play the multiplayer, which I sunk a lot of hours into. The only good redeeming part of that game was the multiplayer, and I was so hyped for the story because I'm like, oh, this is cool. This assassin is part of the pirates. It'll be a cool side thing that I get to do, and he's also related to Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. It'll carry the story on. We'll go, further in. Play the game. It basically has nothing to do with the original story anymore. I didn't like being a pirate, and it's no longer Assassin's Creed. And Ubisoft just kind of took that game, put it in a pit of fire, poured some lava in there, and then dropped a couple of wolves in there to all die and burn. And yeah, that
That's
game.
a weird
the
order.
The
I
entire
guess so.
franchise is just it's just dead for me. That game disappointed me beyond belief. Where I only actually played up to 75% of the game, and that was it. I couldn't even stomach the rest of it to finish it. Couldn't finish it. Couldn't do it. Nothing will make me go back to that game to finish it now. It is continued with.
What
yes,
if I give
wolves.
you $1,000?
No amount of money is going to make me go finish that game.
$2 million and you wouldn't go back?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Yeah, you would. You'd go back for like 10 grand if it was like a legit offer. You'd go back for $1,000 if it was a legit offer.
I absolutely would as well.
I'd go back.
Yes.
That's fine.
play
That's
any
fine.
game.
I won't do it. I can't. Not to go play that piece of
All right,
literal
Giuseppe,
garbage.
when
Well,
we
you
become
know-
rich,
Well,
the Genesis is still a poor man because of
A,
life
a
events.
poor man, as
A
opposed to poor
yes,
man.
poor man. No, Poorman. He's a Poorman.
Got it.
His
Okay.
name is Genesis Poorman now.
Got it. Got it.
We will offer a significant amount of money for him to go back and get the platinum in Black Flag.
All
How's
right.
that sound?
That sounds good. Sounds
Hot
good.
diggity dog. That sounds good.
God.
All right.
One really quick thing on Black Flag. So at that point, for Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4, the story of the Assassin's Creed, like the arcing story, was already like it was already trashed.
it was
It was
bad.
all it was just garbage at that point. And I will say this: I enjoyed like doing the little island hopping things, and then just taking over ships and then adding them to my fleet. I kind of like
You
that.
probably like Odyssey. That's what it is.
Yeah, but that was it. Everything else was just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Pirates,
I
fine.
liked Freedom Cry, the DLC to Black Flag. Honestly, I'd rather play that game. It was literally about the ship mate who you had with you. He was like a Haitian man.
Call me
And,
Ishmael.
Yeah, you play as him, and he went around freeing slaves, and I was like, I'm having a good time doing this. Because killing racists, not good in real life, but in video games, fantastic. The only
Pretty
reason I say
cathartic.
not good in real life, because killing people is bad. Just don't do that. Call the police or do whatever. Anyways, yeah, no, Black Flag, yeah, I understand where the heartbreak is. Speaking of collector's editions, though, that Black Flag emblem they have, beautiful. Same friend I gave the Pit Boy to for free for his birthday, also got him a Black Flag. So,
Well done.
bought it separately, and it's also like one of the big ones. That
Hmm.
thing was gorgeous. It's a gorgeous symbol. It was cool. It was very cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Separating it from the game. You probably like it too, Genesis, if you separate it from
I have one of the belt buckles from that game in the collector's edition, and I took it and threw it in the trash.
Alright, well.
Enough said. Let me go ahead and say mine real quick. Well,
Yeah.
the first of mine. I talked about it briefly last week. I'm going to start off with it right here. Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs. Talk about a game that was hyping, new console generation, a new leap forward in graphic fidelity, in environmental interaction, narrative scaling, stakes, edginess, and what we got was a severely Big Lots version of GTA is what we got. Real bad driving controls. Really poor excuse for environmental interaction. The whole hacking systems was pedestrian. Mini games were atrocious, annoying, and laborsome. Adam, you can speak to the drinking game.
I actually cannot. I never beat it. I had Chris
you had
do
to
it for me
hand
through
it to
SharePlay,
someone.
and I
Yeah.
got I got the platinum.
Hey,
You can do that through SharePlay.
pro tips through
Technically,
that.
the only platinum I've never earned of the platinums that I've earned. So.
I loved the whole. I fully bought into the hype machine for Watch Dogs. I geeked out over that whole that big commercial thing that they set up, like the fake intersection somewhere in like Canada, I believe somewhere they set it up. It was an intersection, and this guy was. You can look it up, but this guy was like, he was set up in like this cell phone repair shop, and he was doing free repairs on cell phones. But what he was doing, he was adding like the Hack app on their phones, and he would take them out to the street intersection and have them actually hit the button on the app to hack the intersection, and then they would set up this fake crash in the intersection, just like you're allowed to do in the game. And it was just like this huge, big fake acting setup to get these people to have like genuine reactions to, oh my god, what did I just do? I caused this accident. What did you do to my phone? Yeah, like they really went out on a limb to kind of like promote this thing as like this big, phenomenal experience, and it wasn't at all.
Does anybody remember the protagonist name of Watch Dogs?
Aiden Pierce.
Yeah, why?
Scratchy McGrowly face.
Spoilers for Watch Dogs. The coolest part in that game is when you kill the main dude by hacking his pacemaker. Because I was like, that's a good way to kill that guy. Fuck that guy. But also, fuck that game.
Aiden Pierce you're talking about?
Yeah,
Now, Aiden Pierce, yeah, the main character.
Main character.
You hack the bad guy as
Yeah.
Aiden Pierce. You hack the bad guy. You hack his heart.
Yeah.
Pacemaker. And you kill him. And you're like, wow, I feel cool. Cause
I got a question for you, Giuseppe.
Yes.
So that game was a big disappointment, obviously, for you.
Broke my heart.
And I remember it coming on PlayStation 3, 4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Am I correct with that?
Did it come out for PS3?
I don't believe it was for PS3. No.
It was
No,
just
I
next
think
gen,
that was
correct?
that was
It was a next gen. It was a
Next
next
gen.
gen.
I don't know. I think it was
title.
only next gen,
It was a next gen title.
but I
bought it for
I would be
PS4.
shocked if it.
So here's a quick question.
Wii, man. So.
Oh yeah, I know. I know there was a lot of downgrades or a lot of features missing that they were originally talking about, or maybe they mentioned and it never really came to light with the game. If that game was potentially, instead of made for the PlayStation 4, made for this gen coming up now, and that game was made to the full potential of what they were talking about and promising, what would be your thoughts on it then? But,
Well, we'd be talking
Watch
about a
Dogs
completely
Legion?
no.
well,
we'd be,
no,
well,
not Legion.
we'd be
We do have a confirmation. It did come on PS3 and 360 by Desunoto.
Oh yeah, yeah. I vaguely remember it saying it's coming out. God, can you imagine how it ran on that crap?
I don't
I
even
don't
want
know.
to think
I was
about
gonna
it.
say, how did it? If it ran even, it ran the way it did on PS4. How did it run on PS3?
I don't even want to think about it. I will say this. Well, we would be talking about a completely different game. Okay. We wouldn't
Okay.
even be talking about
Would
Watch
we-
Dogs. It would again, if we're talking about a game that they said would deliver on everything that they claimed that it was going to on launch, we'd be basically be talking about No Man's Sky, which is yet another one I'll
Man's?
throw out there for
No Man's
being a
Sky?
massive disappointment because of completely under delivering on whatever promises that were made by certain key individuals in the process. Sean Murray. So
Cough, cough.
cough cough, wink wink, nudge nudge. Again, and I only have myself to blame for buying into
I
the
would
hype.
agree.
And I take full responsibility for that.
Everyone else can blame you. I agree.
And that's fine too. I'll take
Sean
that.
Murray
I'll
didn't
take
do
that.
nothing.
I'll
It's
take
all
that.
Giuseppe.
But I will say still the lasting effect was just massive heartbreak and disappointment as a result of those games completely under delivering in every way. In every way.
Yeah.
Adam,
I
give us another
remember
one.
I want to build off some of yours for a second.
Okay,
Hold on.
go. Let's do it.
Watch Dogs. I never thought that would be as good as what they showed, and I was like, this looks cool, but I'm hesitant. And then it came out, and I was like, thank great. So I wasn't. That's not a heartbreak for me because I don't want to say I saw the writings on the wall. I just
You
never thought it
expected
was
it.
anything special. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never thought it was going to be like, oh my god, it's next gen, it's crazy.
Mhm.
I was too
Yep.
busy riding my boat and its half-screen black flag. Sorry, Genesis. No Man's Sky. That's another one where I remember you being very excited for that, Giuseppe. And the only time I was ever excited for it is when they did that PlayStation thing where they're like, hey, this is No Man's Sky, and they're like, let's zoom out and look at all the stars. And I was like, look at all my family members. And they just kept zooming out, and I was like, holy crap, that's crazy. But then I was like, I'll play that game in a year. It'll probably be good. And about a year later, it was okay, and I played it, and I got the platinum, and they've been updating it ever since. VR support came to it. One day I will try that. Maybe. We'll see. Probably not. If I'm honest with myself, probably not. Yeah, those are bad. Those are some good choices for being bad. But for me, No Man's Sky especially, I kind of saw that one coming. So, man, do I have to pick another one? Give me some time to think.
Genesis, hit
Pick
us.
another one.
Hit us.
Tom Clancy's The Division. Division for me.
Okay, that's interesting.
I actually liked how that looked, and the whole thing of going into the dark zone for the co-op aspect, because I think I was riding off the high of Destiny. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's something in New York, Black Friday thing, and it's like the world is an apocalyptic state, and you're going around basically with a team trying to take down these big areas of New York City to take them back from whatever gang is controlling it or whatever militia is controlling it. And the whole raiding aspect of it is also cool. I'm like, this is actually like a third-person type of Destiny, but third-person type of Destiny, but it is based in New York, and it has like this whole RPG system to it, which Destiny at the point in time is lacking a lot of, with classes and builds and all those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
And when that game came out, and it was just a downgraded piece of garbage that did not live up to the expectations, very similarly to Watch Dogs. And I think it's a reoccurring theme with Ubisoft games in general.
Oh yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah.
The game just even though it to Desanota's point here, he's actually saying it grew into an exceptional game. Even though they patched stuff, they added stuff, they did this and they did that, I don't think anything could redeem that game for what they promised it was supposed to be, which is, when they first showed it, looked fantastic. Next gen looking amazing, and all these drop-in, drop-out co-op things that you can do, and the detailed missions and all that. It was a very repetitive, boring mess.
I would say, I agree with a lot of what you have to say about The Division. That was another game that I almost bought onto, like fully boarded the Hype Express for as well. The moment where it lost me though was when it was confirmed that the rumored application that they would add on to that game with the whole addition of like a fifth player joining like a fire squad of 4 during the regular progression of the game.
That didn't even happen ever.
Right, the fifth person could theoretically jump in with their smartphone or tablet to control a drone or a UAV or what have you, to be like an extra support. That was a concept that really appealed to me, and I was thinking that would have been a really cool way to bring my wife into the whole mainstream gaming thing, because like she's not a mainstream gamer, she's a mobile gamer.
Wasn't she supposed to be a special guest this week talking about Twilight?
That was not. We didn't confirm that.
That was clearly a joke, because we would do that on the anniversary of Twilight in October, please.
Sure, we can definitely save it for that.
Giuseppe, continue.
We can.
I'm sorry.
But when that additional feature was like, I was like, hey, that's a really cool thing, a nice way to integrate different kind of technology with current gen games, and I like that. I like the idea of expanding integrated technology and having different ways to expand the scope of gameplay. Those are all really cool, ambitious ideas. And when they completely flubbed on it, I was like, man, that it's just another bullet sponge, loot based shooter thing. And how many of those are there? I'm like, and then my interest tailed off, and that was it. I mean, and I never bought it. I tried the demo. I didn't like it. I got the exact same feeling I got from
beta,
Destiny.
Didn't we? Weren't we in the beta for that?
We did. Yeah, we played that. And I was totally turned off by it. I just didn't care for it at all.
I will preface my thoughts on this is not my type of game. But if I had a chance to be interested in it, I was totally turned off. Again, this is the same with Anthem, even though that's not really one of our heartbreaks. I was totally turned off when they showed the demo of it and the people, and it was the most scripted like things that were going on, and I was like, oh, they had to script this for it to be good. Yeah, I'm not interested. That stuff, like, unless you're showing real people playing it, I don't know why companies do that. I guess you don't want somebody to just drop like an F-bomb or anything like that. So They don't. I would honestly, if I were a company, I would just release a beta and have YouTubers, like hire a bunch of YouTubers to stream it with each other, or just release it to some YouTubers and streamers, and if they start working together, be like, hey, can you promote this game? Like, I see you're already having fun with it. I have no idea why they always pay people to do like, hey, Genesis, I'm coming up behind you. You got my back? Look out! There's a man behind you. Oh no! Like, what? What do you do? I don't do that in games. Most of the time, I'm like, I'm down. Oh god, the frame rate's so bad. That is a reference to Genesis and I playing the Avengers beta.
Didn't Microsoft just do that with the YouTubers for their Xbox event that they had? But that turned out to be so cringy and bad, and they had to like.
Yeah, it was also scripted and like. Some of them, they clearly were not under a contract to say anything, like, positive, because some of them were like, yeah, there's some stuff that looked cool, but they weren't the most positive people.
The main thing that they asked them about was like, they were like, hey, what did you guys think of Halo? And like, I think 4 out of the 6 of them that were there, or 8 of them that were there, said, yeah.
It's Halo,
Yeah, it's Halo. The one girl was like, I don't really care.
Yeah, it was honesty, and that's I like that more. And then Microsoft was like, "Oh no, we gotta delay this." But
What
yeah,
were
no,
we
that's
thinking?
yeah, scripted
Uh,
gameplay. But yeah, no, Division
do
2 was
you
never.
do you have
Never
a
gonna
game,
be
Adam,
me.
or do you care if I go
Yeah,
with one more?
I thought of a couple,
Okay.
Hit us.
because I can't really think of heartbreaks, because that's just I don't know I don't get super attached to a game unless I know
Oh God, you're
like
talking to the person who played Sonic 06.
yeah, that's you should have known Sonic games have never been good.
That was when I was younger.
I'm
Okay.
Yeah, you should have known at that age, because when I was younger I was like Sonic games has never been good, and then my mom was like I played it when I was young, and I'm like case in point. um
Yikes.
yeah, I would say a couple, just a rapid fire ones. I'm gonna throw out there Arkham Knight. It
Oh, okay.
wasn't the
Good
tank
call.
stuff just brought that game down.
Good
It's
call.
not a full heartbreak, because there are still so many aspects about that game I love, and it's still a very good game, except maybe 12 hours of it.
World of
So
Tanks, Batman
yeah,
edition.
I mean, World of Tanks has strategy and other stuff. This is literally just dodge left, right, work on this. Like, Batmobile's cool, but it's just, you know. I got two more, and they're threes in a franchise. Little Big Planet 3, not made by Media Molecule. I still liked it a lot. That game was just buggy, and it just wasn't up to the quality of Little Big Planet 1 and 2, and now even Dreams. Like, it wasn't up to the Media Molecule quality. And I really hope Sumo Digital does that Little Big Planet Sackboy Adventure justice when Genesis and I play co-op, because PS5.
Oh, we're doing
That's
that.
that's the system seller for
Is
me.
that confirmed for a
I don't.
launch
It doesn't
date?
have a date. I don't think it
Okay.
has a date. I'm not super concerned. If it never comes out, I wouldn't be shocked.
No. That's
But
not cool.
that, and then Mafia 3. Mafia 2 was so good. I like Mafia 3 quite
Yeah,
a
you
bit.
did talk about Mafia 3.
But
Yeah.
there are moments in Mafia 3 that I'm like, wow, this is really good. And then there's the rest of Mafia 3 where I'm like, this is an open world game, and I'm playing it. Like, there's just, it's not what it could have been or what I wanted it to be. And I think the rest of the internet and the world felt that way, because that game just did not come out and blow everyone away when it came out. So that's those. So and, also Ghost of Tsushima. That game sucks. I just want everyone to know that game sucks. And 1.07 came out, and there's still no New Game Plus. Please give me New Game Plus. I want to play through it again, but I need trophies. I'm about to start it up again without trophies. I'm gonna be very sad if I'm halfway through that playthrough.
Yeah, don't do that.
And then they add trophies. I know.
don't do
no,
that.
I know.
Don't
I
do
started
that.
playing Dreams. It's not important. Anybody else have any other heartbreaks?
I got another one.
Go for it.
Oh.
Destiny 2.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
bought
you-
into Destiny 2 because I really like Destiny 1, and after the whole rise and fall of Destiny 1, I was like, well, Destiny 2 looks more promising. It definitely looks like they listened to the fans. They fixed a couple things. Game came out, they listened to nobody, they fixed nothing, and they gave us the same game again and made us pay overall full price for the same game over again. I played it. I bought the collector's edition, which had the expansion and everything. I was like, listen, I'm getting back into this. I'm going to do this. And I played, I think, maybe 10 hours of the game. Called it quits. Couldn't do it anymore. It just, I believe that was when they were exiting Activision. So maybe I've heard from multiple people that now the game is a lot better because Bungie is now manning it all by themselves.
Right.
But it just, God, man, I don't know. If I might give it another shot on PS5 because I already have the game. It's a free upgrade already confirmed. If you have the PS4 version, you get the PS5 version for free. And
Is
see
it
how
a Plus game?
it is now a free to play game. It is a free to play game which you just buy the
okay.
expansions for now.
So how would wouldn't everybody be able to play it on PS5 then?
I think they
Is it
meant like
free
if
to
you
play?
own the PS4 expansions, you get all the
all right.
expansions again on PS5.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
And I might give it another shot because of the frame rate and because of the hopefully the just the overall better stability of the game. on the newer gen consoles. We'll see what exact
Hopefully.
improvements they've made on it. I have no idea. They didn't specify. But yeah, that was one of my main disappointments that I've in recent times that I've played, and I'm like, I don't want to pick up Destiny again. I don't even want to get back into it. And I logged a lot of hours in Destiny 1. I have a shit ton of hours in that.
Mm-hmm.
Just it was just a complete letdown in general for me.
So again, I will preface, not preference. I have no idea what that means. I will preface that Destiny 2 was never my type of game, or Destiny 1. It's just not for me. I distinctly remember the 2 months after Destiny 2 came out because I asked. I think the Red Knight Rises, is that what we call him?
Sure.
The tall guy.
Yeah, that's right.
The tall guy. That's what I'm gonna call him after Fall Guy.
Tall guy.
The tall guy. I asked him if he was gonna buy Destiny 2, and he was like, "Oh, when it goes cheap." I'm like, "Well, it's not even out yet." And he was like, "It came out 2 months ago." And I was like, "Oh!" I had no idea that game launched. Somehow I missed all of that. I think I saw like the concept art and the box art, and I was like, "Why is Destiny 1 back in the news? Oh, is this just another expansion?" Never even clicked if there was a Destiny 2. Now, I didn't get any of the backlash or the hype. Like, I follow game news pretty intensely, and I missed all of that for like 2 months. So, just crazy, crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure.
It was their destiny to be bad.
Destined to be bad.
Also,
I'm tossing
Genesis, stop playing multiplayer games. You don't like them. None of them are good for you. Don't get hyped about them. They're bad.
What? No.
No,
I'm hyped with what's that new one coming out on PS5? The one that we just saw. The one that reminded me of this. No. The one that reminded me of the Assassin's Creed multiplayer.
Oh, the
Outlaw?
Legends never fade
Yep.
away, die.
That one looks good. I'm waiting to see more of that.
I
to see
can't
that.
wait until after that comes out and we do another podcast on heartbreaking games, and that one's gonna be there.
Yeah, I
thought it
do
looked
not.
like Assassin's Creed.
I don't
you know,
understand, man. I don't understand that.
Well, listen, Ghost of Tsushima is now filling my void of Assassin's Creed, and overall, that's defeated Assassin's Creed in every single thing that I can think of. But Little Big Planet, I'm also waiting for that multiplayer game to come out, even though it's not a massive multiplayer game. Me and you're gonna obviously co-op that.
It's a co-op game. I wouldn't even call it really a multiplayer game. But...
What do you call this? It's more than a multiplayer.
When you say multiplayer, I always think of like COD or like a Destiny. That's multiplayer. Co-op, and there's multiple players, but you're co-oping it. You know, that's just my dumb brain. I'm making dumb brain decisions. You know what I mean? Just have to back me up on this.
Speaking of dumb brain and filling voids, let's talk about Metal Gear Solid 5, because that was a heartbreaking game for me. Talk about let's go ahead and like avoid all the obvious talking about Kojima and Konami stuff, because we all know that's been well documented. Everybody's talked about it.
Yeah,
it's a crap situation. It was all a crappy situation. But let's just talk about that game. And what that game featured was perhaps, arguably, the best gameplay that a Metal Gear game has delivered ever. You had an open world, big maps, really fun, going out into the world, stealing, trucks and tanks and troops and, building up Mother Base and those aspects of it. Although, when you went back to Mother Base, there was nothing really to do there. That was one area where they really could have expanded it more a little bit there, and the whole forward operating base, like multiplayer quote unquote angle to it, that was whatever, it's fine, it's nothing too special. Would have been more interesting if you could do more dynamic things on the base, specifically like random occurrences would bring you back to the base area if you're out in Afghanistan, and you'd have more dynamic things happening back at the base. You kind of leave your mission, go back, take care of things over there. Not just, oh my gosh, another player's invading. They're going to steal your nukes, or they're going to steal your, your 5 lunch boxes of, red rare diamonds or metal or whatever that you got stored on your base, whatever. But the reason why Metal Gear Solid 5 was such a massive disappointment for me was because it was easily the worst story in the entire series of Metal Gear games. And what you got to understand about the Metal Gear story is that it is a convoluted, over-the-top, fantasy, military, science fiction-y kind of blend of hokiness and weirdness. And is it supernatural? Is it just high technology? Or is it just something else? Who knows? It's not really meant to. You just got to go with the story. And you had larger-than-life characters doing these absurdly, incredible things to help shape this, this pseudo history, this pseudo retelling of history, from prior to the Cold War, or the World War II, or however far back it ultimately goes, and like where the origins of the philosophers and the Cobra unit and the boss and everything, all of this mythos that is just basically kind of like not present and irrelevant in Metal Gear Solid 5. And in lieu of all of that rich lore, you have Ghostface, and that's it. I mean, it's just, the narrative is just very, very poor, and the whole, bait and switch once again Kojima pulled with the main character. You're not quite exactly Big Boss. Spoiler alert if anyone's out there. You shouldn't be. The game's pretty old. Yeah, very unmotivating when it comes to like the narrative angle. I can't even remember the last time that I did pop that disc in just to play around, because again, just running around in the open world and just like scooping troops up and sending them up into the balloons is still, it's fun hilarity, especially if you're recruiting like S plus troops and like, yeah, you're bolstering your mother base and all that, and that's cool and all. And then also like as a result of that, the whole like, the R&D development for different kinds of tools and items and vehicles and different kinds of guns and weapons you can use in the field. Those were all really interesting angles that really could have been expanded upon if they were featured in a more prominent way for the gameplay. But that story, just a whole bunch of nothing. I would say, but it wasn't without dramatic moments. I would say the moment where punished Venom Snake needs to infiltrate Mother Base and basically execute all of the soldiers that were infected with the English vocal parasite virus. That was probably the most prominent dramatic moment of that game, and I think they executed it pretty well, no pun intended. Because all the troops there, like, nobody fights you when you execute them. They all like, that's the respect they have for the legend of Big Boss. They like, some of them salute you as you cap them in the skull. I mean, like, it was a good moment, but it would have been a better moment had it been the climax of an escalating drama that actually went somewhere, as opposed to going nowhere. And for that reason alone, Metal Gear Solid 5 was a massive heartbreak to me, and a terrible way to end the story, because we aren't going to see a Metal Gear game with Kojima involved directing the helm ever again. And that's not to say that nobody could follow up with a sequel that does well, but I certainly wouldn't put any faith in Konami to do something that the fans and gamers would like. I wouldn't put any stock into Konami to do that. Not a chance.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Is the online for that game still working or no? Metal Gear Online for MGS5?
I don't know. I played a little bit of that. I mean,
Is it the bad Metal Gear Online, or is there a different separate game about Metal Gear?
The bad one is Metal Gear Survive, I think.
Yeah, that's that.
Okay,
yeah,
thank
that's the trash that has nothing to do with Metal Gear. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
mean, I know you're a big fan of 4, as well as the
I
other
like
games,
all
but
of
I know
them.
you
I love
I
all
know
of them.
that, but I know that there's a part in 4 that you really like. So,
The ending of 4 makes me
yeah.
cry every time. The ending of 4, specifically the moment where Solid Snake encounters Big Boss at the grave site, and they have their little farewells, and he lights the cigar, and Big Boss is basically like moments from death, and he says, "This is good, isn't it?" And just silence, and then the cigar slips from his fingers, and then just the wind, and Solid Snake is just staring into the death of his progenitor, clone, father, pseudo thing, whatever. Uh,
You had me
yeah, it's
until
a
that
great
part.
moment. It's a great moment. It's a great moment. And yeah, that moment always makes me cry every time. And that's not really from us of having so much vested into those characters' relationship, but understanding the drama of that moment. That was theoretically that's the most recent event that occurs in the story chronologically, and that theoretically is the end of the story in terms of the timeline. And it's just a really emotional moment, and nothing in Metal Gear Solid 5 even approaches anywhere close to that gravitas. Not even close. It's just not there. The story is like not applicable to a Metal Gear game, and that's kind of insulting to a fan of the Metal Gear games. So
Right. Desunoto actually has a quick little comment.
Oh,
Can a heartbreak game for me be something that never came out? PT would be one for him.
sure.
oh
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
PT man, so much potential. My
Oh yeah.
goodness. I mean, who
Heartbreak game that never came out. Oh, I want to think about
that
this now
no,
too.
that's
Go
a
ahead.
good
Go
one.
ahead. Say
That
what you're
but
saying.
yeah, PT was talk about doing so much with very very minimal. You're walking down a hallway, and then you walk down the same hallway, and then
And
rinse
you
and
keep walking
repeat.
down the hallway.
But this is the thing. It's that
Shia
it's
LaBeouf.
that slow. See, this is how you build tension, though. Tension is a slow burn. An effective tension builder is a slow burn, and it's creeping you out slowly and but surely, because it's not just a repetition. Things start to change, and then you start to wonder, am I even playing this correctly? Am I supposed to do something? Am I screwing up? Who knows? Maybe not. And yeah, I have nothing but respect for what the potential of that project would have been, could have been, should have been. I think we
We
all would have
might see
loved to
it.
have seen it.
We might see it. We
It
might
We
see
might,
it.
might
This
see
silent.
something
there's
like it, but we won't
possibility.
see
Yeah,
that. We won't see
it's
that.
certainly possible, but highly unlikely.
I have another one really quick, but Adam, about talking about games that could have come that never released but had some serious potential behind it. I got
Agent.
one specifically in mind. This is
Oh
gonna
well.
No,
go
I have
turning back the
none.
clock.
So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this one's turning back the clock a little bit. I don't know if anyone out there is familiar with the Robotech story.
I
A
have
little
no idea what you're
game
talking about.
around the launch of Nintendo 64. There was a little title that Harmony Gold was attempting to get licensed out. A little project called Robotech Crystal Dreams. And that was supposed to be Robotech in the 3D, transforming mecha in space on planets, fighting Zentradi or whatever. Basically, doing that story, some kind of next generation of the lore. And they had some gameplay out there. It showed some promising, space flight sim combat, transforming mecha, lots of weapons, upgrading system, um, but it never came to pass. It never got released. They never finished it. I don't know how far along in development that project got, but man, I love Robotech, and I would have loved to have seen Crystal Dreams release on N64 because, man, that would have been something special. wouldn't have looked, nice in comparison to, modern day graphics. But for back then, N64 graphics with those polygons they had working on, man, that could have been something special. But it definitely broke my heart that it never came to pass. That would have been something nice to see and play.
Yeah, it sounds interesting, but also I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never heard of anything you just said. What is an N64?
Okay, sounds good.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it sounds interesting. That brought it back. I'll tell you what, I brought it back. Genesis over here is like Robotech. Just trying to repeat the word in his head over and over.
Yo, it's anime, y'all. He knows. Genesis knows his anime. He knows what I'm talking about.
That's an anime.
Well, it's technically
like
an
Boku
American.
No Pico.
Right, it's technically an Americanized port of Macross, which is the Japanese version of that story. But yes,
Adam, I like
licensed
the
by
humor.
Harmony Gold.
I appreciated the humor.
Thank you.
Giuseppe, just Desinoto made a note, said that you can apparently download a prototype ROM for it. Just need to have an N64 emulator on a PC.
Is that all you need?
Is that?
Pretty much. N64 emulator on a PC is actually not that hard to find.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a very good PC at all. It barely functions. Desinoto, my laptop is probably, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years old, and it just runs Final Draft 11 for all my script writing, and I can't really afford to put anything else on it because it'll probably just like short out and burn, and then all my material will be lost to the ages. So if I ever do get a good PC, if I can ever afford it, I'll look into that, because I would love to see what Crystal Dreams, in whatever percentage completion that it is. I would love to see what they were able to come out, and that would be neat.
You guys remember Scalebound?
Yeah, the Xbox game?
Yeah.
Vaguely?
Yeah, what about it?
Didn't they show gameplay of that game before it was canceled?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Is that one of your
one of the ones that I would have liked to seen? Yeah, what I like to seen, but unfortunately,
Shocking.
got canceled. Oh,
Shocking.
also, Blue Dragon on Xbox. That's one of the only franchises on Xbox that I wish came to another. Is it Blue Dragon?
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Is that what they call it? No. It's in the same vein of Dragon Quest.
Blue
like
White Dragon. Never mind. Sorry. Go ahead.
Xbox. Yeah, it is called Blue Dragon. Xbox 360 game.
So it's like Dragon Quest.
It looks very similar to Dragon Quest, and the art style of the guys look very similar to DBZ and Dragon Quest. The actual dragon actually just looks like Shenron, honestly speaking.
Paparapara chipiricaro.
Is that the one you make a wish with?
Yes.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was the Mushu, but I'm pretty sure that's Mulan.
That's Mulan's dragon. Yes.
Yeah. Dragons, man. I only really know Puff. And that's it.
Hey, so let's do a quick curveball. Throw out. I know we kind of we did that all of our heartbreaks and disappointments. Toss a game out there that was just a phenomenal, huge, awesome surprise.
Oh.
That came out of nowhere and you wound up loving.
Oh God.
And you wound up loving when you didn't think you were gonna like it.
Hang on.
But you wound up loving it.
Oh
Wait,
my
How
God,
about that?
I gotta think.
Yep, hang on. I gotta take a look at
You
this.
Okay,
seem like
you guys think
you got one? Yeah.
You guys think I'm ready to say mine. I'm gonna put it
Alright, I'm
out
not
there
gonna
for the
even
world to
listen
see.
I'm thinking, but go ahead.
Go ahead. You guys think, and I'm gonna talk. And my biggest surprise out of nowhere is From Software's Golden Child, Bloodborne. It's all about the blood.
I
It's all
swear to
about it.
God, you mention this game every week, and I'm here for it, and I support you. But at the same time, this is your last week on this fucking podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna tell you, I cannot stop singing and shouting the praises of Bloodborne and From Software for that title,
go ahead.
exclusive for
Get
PS4.
up and look at my game.
I was never, I had not played any From Software games. I've not delved into the Souls series. But I tried Bloodborne because it came on PlayStation Plus free for once, and I'm like, man, I'd always been wanting to get around to it because it just looked cool. It looked cool. It looked like it controlled really well. I loved the gothic horror angle to it. It just looked like the kind of game that I'd really be into. And I got it, I downloaded it, and it started crushing me from day one. My goodness, I can't even count. I lost count of how many times I died the first day. I can't even tell you how many times I died to Father Gascoigne. My goodness gracious. But you know what? And I went through all the stages of grief when it came to Bloodborne. My goodness gracious! But I tell you what, talk about a game that really pushed me to get good. Because despite the frustration, and my goodness, I was pounding my knee and punching pillows, and every time I felt like bosses were cheesing me, and I couldn't conceive of the speed of these massive things that I was trying to take out in the game. But my goodness, I got good. And as I was getting good, I was getting enraptured by the lore, trying to figure out the mystery of this place where it seems like the story of the game of Bloodborne. There's no active narrative that's really happening because all the good stuff basically blew up the entire city of Yharnam. Like you're basically there, kind of like in mopping up duty. Like all the bad stuff has happened. You're just there picking up pieces and trying to find the pale blood, whatever that means. We can get into philosophical debates, but my goodness, Bloodborne, it tested me, it challenged me out of the gate, it forced me to get good. I got good, and I got into it, and I love it, and I can't say enough great things about Bloodborne. Surprised me, heart just fell in love with it. It's awesome. Who's next?
Justin 100% agrees with you. The number one PS4 game.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. The Bloodborne is my favorite PS4 game. I think it is the game to define this console. And I would love to send my script live adaptation of Bloodborne, the story. I'd love to get it out there. So, hey, Sony Pictures, we want to start developing. We know you're listening. We know
you're watching.
We know you're watching. I want to develop your game. Because this is the thing. I wrote this with the specific intent of being a legitimate movie, a legitimate film. Forget the game adaptation angle to it. This story is meant to be a great film. Gothic, cosmic horror, Bloodborne, Yharnam. Let's get into it. All right, who's next? Games.
Got one, Adam, or you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go. You can go.
So I have two. One would be Ghost of Tsushima.
What?
Even though we've seen a lot of the stuff, this game surprised me even more than I thought it was going to surprise me. I figured the game would be good.
I'm going to veto this choice. I'm going to be honest with you.
You're going to veto this choice?
I'm honestly going to veto this choice because you would not shut up about this game ever since it premiered. So if it came out and surprised you, you were already no.
The thing is,
no.
it's
vetoed.
Okay, never mind then.
Opinion vetoed. No, go ahead.
No, the other game was Final Fantasy VII Remake, because I never played the original Final Fantasy VII, and I only know the characters from the movie and from Kingdom Hearts, so I know nothing about FF7 and the story and anything like that. I played this game, loved it, fantastic. I liked it a lot. Versus what I don't know 100% of the lore, what to expect. I just know the two main names in it, which is Cloud and Sephiroth, because of Kingdom Hearts. That's basically how I know Final Fantasy VII. Because the only other Final Fantasy game I've technically played and beaten is, I think I beat it, 15. That's it.
Yeah, you need to get yourself some more Final Fantasy under your belt.
Yeah.
I would recommend.
Yeah.
I would actually go with the opposite opinion, but I've never played any of the Final Fantasy games because they all look like garbage.
Yikes. Hot take.
But yeah, that game surprised me.
It is a hot take, but I know what I like, and I like what I know.
All right, Adam.
Now,
what do you got?
Question. I have a question about this question and category.
Uh-huh.
How can a game surprise you if you pre-ordered it because you thought it looked good?
Yeah, I'm with you. I get it.
Didn't you pre-order Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, but again, I only pre-ordered the premise
I'm vetoing that choice as well.
All right, then no game has
because
surprised me this gen.
the thing is, no, did you say this gen?
No, it can be any. It's not
Yeah.
limited to this gen.
What are
It's
you
any
doing?
game.
You changed this whole question.
I don't remember anything
'Cause
from
I
PlayStation 3
looked-
that I played that stuck out. I mean, besides the
looked-
Uncharted games, besides
Uncharted 2 was
I looked at
phenomenal.
all of my games, and
Uh-huh.
there's 3 games I remember that I didn't pre-order, and out of all the games I own, I know I didn't pre-order Stacking, so that was one that I was thinking of. I didn't pre-order Uncharted 2, and I also did not pre-order, what was it, Mafia 2, I think? I didn't pre-order any of those. Everything else I either pre-ordered, or everyone told me that it was going to be good, and I was like, oh, I trust your opinion. I bought it. I wasn't that surprised that it was good because everyone knows me. Like,
Okay.
that's how I took the question. That's why I vetoed your choices.
All right, so I have one game then, Devil May
Go
Cry
ahead.
3, because I never played a Devil May Cry game before I had gotten on a PlayStation 3. It was a PS2 game.
Yep.
I had the backwards compatible PS3, so I was originally only buying like what did I even buy a PS3
You were
for? I don't
thieving, is
remember.
what you were doing.
Huh?
Or you
Yikes.
were thieving, and then you got banned.
Oh no, this was when I first got a PS3. Devil May Cry 3 was one of the few games. Oh, I got a PS3 because of Sonic 06. That's why I got a PlayStation.
Oh, dear
3.
God!
I'm talking about
And-
Sonic 06 again. My goodness.
And
God. No,
I played
you've
that.
gone dumb man.
Thanks. One day I'm walking around in Circuit City and I see this game, and I've never bought like M for Mature games before. So I was like, I don't know, I try this, and I picked this game up, and the first thing I do in the first couple of minutes of the game is you are in a broken down pool / arcade house, and you can shoot a demon and then jump on the demon and surf the demon while spinning around and shooting everyone else and throwing your sword at them at the same time. I had so much fun. I never realized that, like, games that I think that got me in the Devil May Cry franchise to begin with. I never realized how fun that game was, or in any M for Mature game at that point, because I think that was my first M-rated game that I played. That was 2007.
It was a great game, man. It was a great
I'm
game.
not gonna lie. I'm also gonna veto that choice because I just want to make life difficult.
Okay.
No, that's a good choice. But yeah, when I was looking at my games, I was like, man, Little Big Planet surprised me. No, I pre-ordered that like months before it came out. So I had Amazon deliver it. They were a day late. I was mad. The one, I mean, Stacking, but that's not enough. I have to go with Uncharted 2 because I played Uncharted 1 and I did not like it at all. I maintain that if you're going to play the Uncharted games, skip 1. Watch cutscenes of 1 and play 2, 3, 4, and Lost Legacy. And whenever a new one comes out, because we know there's going to be a new one eventually. We'll talk about that one day. But, yeah, no, Uncharted 2, I didn't think it was going to be good. Looking back, I wish that I looked into stuff. Because I remember seeing the E3 thing and being like, wow, this is cool. But also, I hated the first game. I'm not getting this.
Now, didn't you play any of the multiplayer beta for Uncharted 2 when that was? You did
No,
not.
I've since I was a wee lad, I've always been anti-multiplayer. So I just betas. I wasn't going to those. I didn't care about them until I got like Uncharted 2, and then I started playing that multiplayer because I was like, let me test it out because this game's great. And I was like, I already did everything in the game. Like, I beat the game 100%. I got the platinum. I literally did everything. I played through Uncharted 2 probably 8 times, like, in total.
Mhm.
Like, in a period of a year, about, I played that game nonstop. Uncharted 2 is one of the tops for me. It's up there. That
Uncharted 2 is
multiplayer,
a
though,
masterpiece.
yeah,
Uncharted 2 is a masterpiece.
And that multiplayer, it literally was like, hey man, you like multiplayer games now. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And then I almost wanted to include Fall Guys. But another friend of ours, I forget what we call him. What do we call him? The Infinite
Infinite metabolism.
Catalyst. Yeah, not so much anymore. Putting on a little bit of weight, a little bit of
Oh,
pounds. But
okay,
that's not important.
there you go.
Let's just call him the British man because he's
You
putting
can
on
only
them
have
pounds.
too many chicken finger platters and still, be under.
It's mostly McDonald's now.
Okay.
But no, I would almost say that, but then he was like, "Hey, check this out," and I looked at it, and I was like, "I'm curious about this," and then they announced it for Plus, and I was like, "Well, that's a definite get." So I wasn't. I thought it would get repetitive real quick, but it didn't. So I guess it pleasantly surprised me there.
Fall
So,
Guys is
but
still an entertaining time. I'm not gonna lie, and it's definitely the
Also-
type of game that I wouldn't normally think that
I know.
would appeal to me.
and you
but
got to win. We didn't even mention that, and that's why I want to talk about the games real fast. We'll do that last because we've been. Going
Oh
a
yeah,
while
we
here.
totally forgot about
So
that. We launched right
We
into
did
it.
not. I mentioned it like 4 times. But we didn't care because we were just so in depth with our rumors and stuff. That we'll
That's
have
right.
to do more of Genesis. You did a great job in that segment.
True. Facts.
But as I was looking at my game, I thought of another heartbreak, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. It's Red Dead Redemption 2. I thought it would be better than the first one. It's much worse than the first one. There's a lot of good moments in it. Controls like garbage. It's outdated. Giuseppe has the same opinion. Genesis
Yep.
will probably never play it. Anyways, yeah, do you guys want to talk about what we played this week?
Well, I'm still
And then end it?
poor. Yeah. Well, I'm still poor, which means I'm still slumming it with free games on PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
Plus, which isn't entirely bad because obviously Fall Guys is still a great time, and I'm enjoying it there, and I'm still trolling a little bit with Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Hey, we streamed some of that a couple days ago, I think.
We did, and we did stream. We did stream my victory. My victory
Yeah,
is
your
on the
first
stream.
win. You got a crown. You're one of the crown boys. One of the cool crown boys, unlike some people. I won't name names, and I won't look at them.
I actually won 3 times last night.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Well, you didn't mention anything, so you didn't.
Yeah. No.
And no one will believe you.
You won 3 episodes?
Yes, Desunoto can actually verify that. In the chat.
How would
I-
Desunoto know? Do you know him?
He was actually watching the stream that I had last night.
Oh.
Who are you
very
playing
good.
with?
3 other people.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I won 3 games yesterday, though.
Well,
What did you win on, by the
congratulations.
way?
Yeah,
Huh?
what was the event? What was the final event?
I won all 3 that I won were all the King of the Hill one, where you run up the hill and you have to
Oh,
get to
Fall Mountain.
Fall Mountain. There you go.
Wow.
Interesting. You won it 3
Huh.
times. Don't know the name. Very interesting.
Not in a row, but won it one time, then the second time, and then after maybe
And then
4
a
or
third
5
time?
losses.
Is that what's going on there?
4 or 5 losses, I won a third time. Yep,
Oh, did you win
Whoa.
2 in a row?
Good on you.
2 in a row, and
Oh,
then lost
spicy.
4 or 5 times in a
Very
row.
spicy. Now there's we didn't even talk about it. News: 16 million people are playing it on PlayStation. 15.6 million have at least earned 1 trophy.
That's amazing.
That is insane.
That's pretty amazing. Not
And
gonna lie.
also, their Twitter reached over 1 million followers. They've been blowing up. They're also doing a charity thing where a company, whoever donates the most, will get a costume into the game. And
I've
it's running
seen
for
that.
like 2 weeks. And they're already
Yep.
up to like 416,000 or something like that. Or
Mhm.
420,069.
I think Mr. Beast is competing in that along with
Mr.
like
Beast
someone else.
said he'll outbid everyone. But currently, as far as I knew, he was outbid by Ninja and some other company who teamed up
Yep.
with the bid of 420,69.
Yeah.
So, which is, cool for them. And I think I mentioned it before the podcast. The number 1 rated player got a costume.
Oh.
Statistically, the best player, the fallen one, is what they're calling him. And they were trying to discover their identity, but they haven't found the identity. But one person has a costume that nobody else has. So
Wow.
that's yeah.
Very
But,
good.
Genesis, what have you been playing other than Fall Guys?
Fall Guys and Ghost of Tsushima still playing, trying to beat it before the co-op DLC drops.
Well, you got some months, so there should be
Months.
plenty of time. Yeah, you got some months. They said
They
holiday or fall.
They said fall. Fall's
Yeah,
in start
fall is
September,
some
right?
months.
Now is that
What?
fall? Is that fall window or?
Ooh, that's a good point.
window.
Fall Guy. Oh, it's around Fall Guys, so it could be any day now.
Oh God.
I would honestly imagine that be out in like November or December. I can't imagine that it's coming out in September.
That's
or
straight
early
up
October.
winter then. That's straight
This is
up
an
winter.
odd side note.
Maybe late October, early November. We'll see.
Giuseppe, do you remember Dying Light 2 being delayed indefinitely?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that thing
We
was
haven't heard
supposed to come
anything.
out like
Yeah,
eons ago. it
I
seems.
just seen that pop up somewhere, and I was like, "What? What do you?" That was
Dying
delayed
Light.
indefinitely? I
Dying
don't.
Light, also
I don't
another
remember that, but-
huge surprise game that I really enjoyed playing a lot. I love that Dying Light, but yeah, what is going on with the sequel? I would love to know. Oh well.
Indefinitely delayed.
Yeah. Oh, I've been playing The Forest still, trying to get to 100 days. I'm almost at 50. I've decided to just build a giant wooden structure to pass the time.
I like
it's not
it.
going well.
Oh.
Because I played for about an hour and a half and only went like 5 or 6 days. It was annoying. Started Dreams back up yesterday. I found I guess kind of like a city builder, but you're building a pier in 1904. I spent about, I don't know, 2 hours in there, I think.
Wow.
And it saves your game, so I'm going to go back to that probably after this, if I'm honest with you.
Not bad. I like that.
Yeah, Fall Guys, I'm up to 7, I think I already said.
You guys are just too good.
Yeah, I mean, you play it enough, you're gonna get a win eventually. By chance, and then Fall Mountain is one of the easier ones, but
Yes, I would agree with that.
Congratulations, Genesis, on your win. It's too bad I wasn't there to kill you. That's why you didn't invite us to play. Very rude.
Yeah.
I know you're lying about Desunoto just watching the stream because that would be sad. But yeah, did we play anything else? We didn't play any more Forest together, I don't think.
No, we should get back into that at some point.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, eventually.
I enjoy that. It's getting a little tough though.
I will. Set up
No,
my
Giuseppe,
VR, I think.
Adam and I figured out the other night that we have an easy way of killing the big guys now, who line up right in front of the. Yeah,
I
you
forgot
haven't
about
seen that.
That was not
You
the other
haven't
night.
seen
That was almost a week ago at this point.
Oh, a week ago. Sorry, yeah, a week ago.
I think it
Rocket
was after
launchers?
the podcast because I was like, "Give me the
Similar,
when we
yes,
did the
yes,
trophy.
along those lines. The rocket launcher,
know-
along those lines.
It's very similar. It's very similar to what those kids do in high school with pumpkins. It's very similar to that, I'll say. It's
Works.
not quite
Effective.
a trebuchet, but it's pretty good. Also, we have armor and we look like monsters.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
man, I am missing a ton in the Forest because I never even worn a piece of armor in that game. So there you go.
Oh, we'll get you. We got you something.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right
yeah,
then.
yeah,
All right.
Don't worry, child. We'll set you up.
Giuseppe, we are about
yeah.
2 hours and 21 minutes.
We are.
This is good. Yeah, I think we've covered it.
I
So
think
DC
we
Fandom, Saturday the 22nd. I will talk about all DC stuff next week, even unrelated to games. I'm sorry, but that's just how I.
No
who I am.
worries. No worries.
We
What's
can
the
do
next
that.
week's podcast going to be about, gentlemen?
Oh.
Well, we got, 5 days to figure it out? Because we got an announcement to make. Giuseppe?
I have no idea at this point. I have no
Giuseppe
idea.
fucked up, and he can't do this on Thursdays anymore. So this will not be recorded on Thursdays or streamed on Thursdays.
We might be changing our schedule. Look
It's
for
not
the
we
Twitch
might be,
channel
we
to
are.
change up
We're
the
definitely
schedule.
changing it. Yeah.
Well, he said he has no idea at this point.
Genesis. Well, we did agree on a day.
Yeah,
as far
we
as I
did.
was aware.
Yeah, I would say
What day
like
it was? No. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. It's just
Tuesday or
moving
Wednesday.
some days.
Yeah, Tuesday or
Yeah,
Wednesday. Whichever day
Yeah,
works
here,
best for
Keep an eye on
everyone.
the YouTube or our Twitch channel to see when we change the date,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be updated in the schedule.
Yep.
Updated. Updates.
Giuseppe's
I
on
think
his
I'm gonna
way to
keep
not
those-
being a foreman.
I think we're going to keep those corners that we have, though, so Giuseppe would have his word of the week, and you would have your...
Rhyme? No.
No, what did you say?
What
It was
was
it?
it?
It was,
rhyme,
it was
yeah, it's a
rhyme was
rhyme
the
of the
joke,
week.
but I think you actually had something you wanted to do of the week.
I literally say so much during these.
Okay.
That
And then mine would be the rumor of the week.
DC fact of the week.
All right, DC fact of the week. There
Honestly,
you go.
rumor of the week, I actually really like. Also, it's not really a word that he gave, It was 2 words.
It was a
So the
phrase.
phrase of the week.
Yeah, phrase of the week. Whatever Giuseppe wants of the week.
Whatever I want of the week. Honestly, I would love to have next month's rent payment for the week. That's what I would.
Okay, well hold on.
Oh, no.
We're getting distracted. It's not gonna work.
No, I know. I get you. I get you.
You know, this is how we get them YouTube and Twitch viewers.
Uh-huh.
We
Right,
talk
right,
about
right.
how we're so relatable because we have like money issues and stuff. And also, can you believe the government? They're no good sometimes. Relatability.
And with
On
that,
that note.
ladies and gentlemen, we have crafted yet another chat for you.
Something.
Final thoughts and closing statements. Adam Genesis, anything left to add?
Adam Genesis sounds like a really cool name, but also a little strange. No, I don't really have anything. Genesis, what about you?
I guess, we'll keep an eye on everything that goes on, and hopefully we hear something about PS5. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
That's
there
it.
was a commercial, so hopefully we get a price, and we'll talk about. We'll have some stuff. We got some faithful viewers that we may or may not really know in real life, but that's neither here nor there.
And with that, we're going to close out crafting a chat. We'll see you guys sometime soon. Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe next week. Everyone, just be good to each other. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.